really been okay this whole time.
Welcome to another edition of
Penis
Mayhem. I am your host, the Outlaw LA Red. You can find me on Twitter at JustinHarvey75. You can find the entire show on the Twit machine and all sorts of social media at MMMshow75. In fact, Byron's been working hard on cutting together a little bit of footage from the cross thing last week.
Yeah,
that seemed to go well.
Yeah, and we'll actually post it, unlike fucking Lucha Central. So there you go.
Wow, Casey is coming in hot already. Hey, Casey, welcome back.
Hey guys, this is my third fucking podcast this weekend. How's it going?
Your third podcast? Why? What else did you do?
I did Mark Out Mania yesterday.
Oh, love those guys. Good show.
Had a good time. If you guys are listening, what's up? Penis. And yeah, I told him
Mark Out Mania is like the Saturday morning cartoons of the future for me.
Yeah, dude, we talked about horror movies, we talked about Lucha Underground, and man, I was mean in retrospect, but you know, I think the show deserves it sometimes. And
you're going to get them a second chance to go through some of that, because I definitely have a few things to say about that whole Dante Fox debacle.
Yeah, I was shitting on that specifically, so you're with me there. Also, I did the first episode of Miserable Pod of Secrets. It's a new podcast for Miserable Pile of Secrets, which is the website I started with friend of the podcast, Zach. And we're talking about the new Halloween movie. Short version of it, go fucking see that movie immediately, all of you, if you haven't already.
You saw it probably, 2 weeks ago now, right?
Oh, last weekend. Last weekend. Yeah. And trust me, all of you should see it if you haven't already. Have any of you guys got a chance yet?
Well, does Jamie Lee Curtis get naked in this one?
No, you don't get. I don't know what. You have a type, Justin. And,
what are you saying? What are you saying? I have a type. Why are you saying that?
I don't know. Just I've heard some rumors.
Trading Places was a great movie.
Trading Places was
True Lies. True Lies was awesome. That aerobics thing, what was it called? Perfect, with her and John Travolta. Great stuff.
That's a deep cut, Justin. Jesus, that is a deep cut. Wow.
Have you ever done the thing where you watch Trading Places on Netflix instead of basic cable, and you're like, oh, not so family oriented of a movie?
Who been putting that cools out on my carpet? It was never a family-oriented movie.
No, it really wasn't.
They don't show the boobs and some of the words on TV.
Oh, no, they definitely don't. Let
me put it to you this way, Byron. I watched Clash of the Titans. You know, the original, just Clash of the Titans from the 80s.
Yeah.
The other day. Except I watched it on Amazon, and for the first time in maybe 20, 25 years, not on, cable or like basic cable or regular TV.
Forgot about the nudity.
There's boobs in Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, I had a teacher find that out. Valencia High School, shout out, Byron. Miss Cressup totally didn't realize that happened, and there's nudity in that movie too.
Yeah,
so.
you need an airline cut, man. A lot of those 80s movies, like Irreconcilable Differences, has boobs in it.
They all had boobs.
They all had boobs in them. Trading Places wasn't R-rated because of Jamie Lee Curtis's boobs. It was all the F-bombs.
That movie says fuck a lot. That's true. Wow.
Well, it's about real life, It's like they had to really get into it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I took us down a dark road, so let me get even darker real quick. I want to talk, even before we get into the Lucha Underground thing, I want to talk about the Roman Reigns thing. Because I have issues with it. And a lot of people think I'm crazy.
He shouldn't have leukemia?
No. It has nothing to do with his actual illness. What I don't like was I don't like how the information was disseminated. I think his promo or whatever was fine. But here's the thing. And I said this in a Twitter post yesterday that, I find it odd in the wrestling world when people are covering Becky Lynch's fake heat on people in the locker room like it's real news. And yet Roman Reigns has real news and real things going on with him, and it gets covered as part of the TV show like it's a storyline. And I find it almost disgusting, to tell you the truth. I don't like the fact that it was this opening segment. I feel like when you have news like this, you make a press release, you say what's going on, you have real media cover it. You absolutely can acknowledge it on the show. But they're not CNN. They're breaking this news. They're not Variety. They're breaking this news on the show like they're a news outlet in the middle of a scripted show, and doing it in the same format in which they present scripted content.
And using it to turn Dean Ambrose heel later in the show, also.
We all felt uneasy when we were watching it live.
That's
I
the thing.
Talking about it as it happened.
I think it wasn't that bad, but it just they have the bad track record with that sort of stuff, and then they use that as a means or a reason to hot shot an Ambrose turn. Like they were going to do that later, I think. They're like, oh, we have this, let's get the heat, and that sucks because
had Ambrose even finished his face turn yet?
He's barely been back. It's just like, you know, I'm going to be honest and upfront and say I didn't watch that shit, but I think all of you should stop watching it as well. Is the moral of this story?
I mean, I wasn't really even planning on it, but I put it on, and I was on the East Coast, so it was a little easier for me to watch. Like when it comes on at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, there's not a snowball's chance in hell I'm watching it live ever, you know. But I was on the East Coast. It was late. I was just doing notes, so I just click it on, and I was just like, oh, like I felt for Roman. Like clearly the locker room likes the guy. He's obviously a genuine and real locker room leader. He has a lot of people that care for him. You know, he's definitely an integral part of the business at this point, whether you like his on-screen persona or not. He is a star in the business, a big part of that locker room, and he deserves the respect that he's getting from everyone else. I don't think the fans deserve for, you know, his tragedy in life and his plight to be turned into storylines to play on their emotions and sympathies. I just think it's despicable. I think it's bad television. I get it. And they got the heat. They got people watching and talking.
Second thing to tag onto this as well.
Go ahead,
the fact that you got gatekeepers to the horrible diseases of the world that happen to people you don't like, or like they're on TV, they're acting. So there's people out there who are now saying because you've booed Roman Reigns, you can no longer be sympathetic to a man who's just been diagnosed with leukemia.
Yeah, that's great. I saw that too, and it's like, oh yeah, well, keep farting in the temple while you're at it, please. Fucking should be against the Geneva Convention. Worst farts I've ever smelled in my life.
Speaking of the temple,
all right,
evil mark number one, most wanted evil mark in the world, got some airtime this week.
Oh, good for them.
Jimmy's best friend.
Jumping all up in front of Jimmy and Byron. As you notice, at a certain point, you don't see me on camera anymore, but that's because everyone else had to keep moving further and further in front of that guy to even see what was going on in the ring. And I just got to the point where I was sitting on the edge, kind of near the bleachers over there. I was in seat number 1 of Section B. And I just said, fuck it. I was just so over it. I just sat down for like half these matches. And here's Dante Fox, one of my favorite performers of all time, you know, of any era. You know, back and in the ring and showing out and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. I probably missed half his spots live because I was so over that guy. I was so over that whole situation. I was like, you know, a front row seat isn't all it's cracked up to be when there's some ass clown just jumping up in front of everybody the whole time.
There was a shot of you guys in a line, and the camera was kind of like just on the I think Jim was towards the back, or Byron was at the back, sorry. Jim was second. There's you, and then literally this guy backs into the shot, and he's like leaning in on you as much as he can so he can get like his face onto the camera and like his reaction. But he's literally on top of Justin.
I mean, we love enthusiasm. We do. Enthusiasm in the temple should be rewarded, but that is on a different level.
Yeah,
I don't think he knew what he was doing.
I wasn't there. I assume that that's the case, and it kind of sucks that no one was there to take the proper care and make sure that the guy was safe or not endangering others.
I just don't even know. We tried to tell the guy. We tried to edge him back. You try to get him to show some respect. He just wasn't doing it. Like that other girl that people were shitting on a little bit who was also wearing the Worldwide Underground thing. I've talked to her a few times. She was there most of the whole season. And she was just really enthusiastic. She would get really into the matches, and she would yell and scream at the heels and this, that, and the other thing. I think she is genuinely just an enthusiastic fan. This guy is a fucking D-bag. That guy was a horrible human being and should never be allowed into the temple again.
He put Omar in the face.
Yeah.
Trying to get into a shot. He hit Omar in the face.
Yeah. Which in the temple is pretty dastardly. Like, you're going to mess with some dude that's been at almost every single freaking show? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a certain level of respect and reverence that Omar deserves, and that definitely isn't it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't even care what you think of the guy. Like, I even give, there's some other guys that are Temple OGs that are not necessarily my favorite people on the planet, but I'll give them all the deference and respect in the world when they're in the Temple, especially if they're trying to enjoy the show. You can't be messing with them. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, here you got this great match. You got it's the whole episode, which I didn't think it would be. I thought they were going to truncate the shit out of it to make it like half the episode or something. But they give it to you for the whole episode pretty much. It's got some phenomenal things that happen in it, and I think there was a lot of quite a few things that soured it for me. I really, really, really thought Dante was going to win. Yeah. I thought that it was going to be a moment for them to hotshot him back onto whatever path they had written for him for the season. We know that DJ and Roach and Evie Dub and Tony and all those guys and Skip were all hot on AR at the beginning of the season. They all wanted to see him do big things and make big things happen for him. So I figured, he's back and he's cleared, so they're just going to make them happen now. I'm fine with that. It's kind of a telegraph. But no, we couldn't just get the telegraph. It had to be the swerve. It had to be. And
because
I like Jake.
You know what it is, Justin? You know
what is it?
Is it would have made us happy, and fuck us for being enthusiastic fans that actually liked things.
Do you think it really was just the swerve for the sake of the swerve?
Yes, I think that's like half of the fucking booking the show does. It's fucking annoying. Like, okay, Ultima Lucha Dos, they've given us reasons why they did things the way they did. I still think it was just a swerve for the sake of the swerve.
You are still bitter about that. That's amazing.
Yeah, but it was the perfect timing for giving the championship.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they decided to, yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. We got a whole season of Too Little Too Late, and you saw what great things it did for the show. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think some of the best numbers that the show has pulled this season have been on the episodes where Pentagon's title run was playing out.
Yeah, it's good.
He still drew numbers. He's not drawing flies.
Yeah.
I just got to get all my hate out since I'm not going to be on the episode when I can address it with people a little more.
No, you're not going to be able to make it Thursday?
No, I'm not, because I'm in school Thursdays, unfortunately.
That sucks. So all of you folks out there know what's going on. This Thursday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time, as I like to say. Pacific time. Still daylight savings for us Americans. No longer daylight saving for you Brits over there.
Which is confusing.
So confusing. Well, it's because Bush pushed our daylight savings longer 1 week in the fall, which I think sucks because it used to be Halloween weekend.
Yeah.
When you got the time change, so you get an extra hours at the bars on the Saturday before Halloween, so you can go out and party and get stupid. And now it's the following week. So anyway, this Thursday, 7 p.m., we're going to be joined by as many of the Lucha Underground bosses, the executive producers and producers, that we can possibly get into one giant roundtable. A few of them have already agreed to be involved, some of the big ones that you guys all know and love. I won't say who hasn't responded yet, but one of them has not responded yet.
Hold on, Justin. I will give you my response, and it is fuck you. Okay, that's one boss down.
There's one boss. See, boss is just popping up on the show left and right. But anyway, yeah, so it's going to be a fun little roundtable. It's going to be, a little bit of hype for the final Ultima Lucha, even though we're going to do a little Ultima Lucha 4 preview tonight. But be a little bit of hype for that. We'll ask him some questions about some of the stuff that went down this season. Maybe we'll get some clarification on, who didn't show up from Mexico and who did and who replaced them. I don't know if they can or will answer any of those questions, but I know somebody in the chat room will ask, I'm sure. So if you have questions for the bosses, the writers, the executive producers of the show, make sure you come by on Thursday, get your questions in for the bosses, and we shall see what they have to say. And hopefully maybe they'll be able to shed a little light on what might be happening for season 5, or if there's going to be a season 5. Maybe they'll show up and say, hey, the show's done. I know there's also, and I haven't talked to any of them about any of this stuff because I'm kind of saving it for the show, but There's questions about what's going on with Netflix now. There's questions about what's going to happen with the syndication for this season 4. There's questions about a lot of things, and there's talent out there reporting that season 5 is a done deal. There's talent out there reporting that season 5 isn't going to happen, and as we know from other things with Lucha Underground in the past, I don't really trust the talent to know these things.
I've said they're not coming back for season 5, even though they're still in it and in a major storyline.
Yeah, that guy's not coming back.
If
I can confirm that guy's not coming back.
I don't trust the anything that Cortez Castro says, so I'm gonna go with the opposite of what he says, and I don't even know what he said so far.
I don't know that he was even really speaking out of turn.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been given reasons to believe that there will be a season 5 and that he's actually going to be involved in some way.
I heard he's the new Matanza.
That'd be awesome. Matanza.
It's just him in a building. They're going to turn it into like a reality TV show. It's just him in that building trying to escape it.
Hey, that'd be kind of cool.
He's like it's like escape room. Oh man. I hope there's another season. I shit on the show a lot and some of the choices it makes, but I do it out of a place of love, and I hope there is another season, because after I'm done with this semester, I'm actually going to be able to enjoy life a little more and actually watch shows and have fun.
Wait, am I going to have to retire my Where's Casey shirt? Are you going to actually go to some Lucha with me if it comes back?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to go. But
he's like, wait, don't go that far.
Especially if they keep this taping on Fridays bullshit up. I don't like that. Like, that's not good for me anytime.
I can't imagine that's going to change at this point, because I don't feel like the budget is going to get more money.
Right.
I mean, if I was a network executive, as much as I love Lucha Underground, I'm going to be thinking to myself, they made it for that much last time. Let's keep it right there.
Or they made it for that much last time. Let's see how little we can have, and maybe they can only have Jack Swagger beat one person at a time next season.
Well, I don't think with the new contract that they have in place with El Rey that's even an option. I think for the next 3 seasons, pretty much it's a take it or leave it deal for El Rey. They can't slash the budget any more than they did on the hiatus round. So basically, it's go or no go. So I don't expect we'll see any less production value. I mean, I guess the real question at this point is the production value that they currently have enough? Is 22 or whatever episodes a season enough? Is it working, or is it just not working anymore?
Honestly, I would rather see them do a 13-episode season with the same amount of money and have like really cool shit, but I know that's not a whole lot of wrestling. You know what I mean? That's like 9 episodes less. I'm just talking out my ass at this point, but I don't know. I felt like the budget was the least of their issues this season, and most of the issues I had were creative decisions. Like, I understand why some of them were made. It doesn't mean I like them. You know what I mean? You don't have availability to some of your guys like Cuerno and Aerostar and Drago and AR Fox. So when we finally get them, let's fucking job them out. That sucks. That's not.
I don't know. I think Aerostar.
What, Byron?
I think Aerostar and Drago have been extremely heavily featured, and I think that they're the only spot that I know I wasn't too really thrilled with was when they went up against Jake Strong and lost to him right away. And I think that's sort of playing out. I think that runs a lot deeper than what it looked like, but because of who was cast as Jake Strong, it looks bad.
Well,
but,
I mean,
that also gets into.
Let's hypothetically say Kevin Cross comes in the Jake Strong role, right?
Yeah,
he's also done a luchador killer kind of gimmick. He hasn't gone so we the people with it, but you could see how there's definitely some parallels in what he's done in Mexico, and he could have stepped into a part like that. Now, if he stepped into that exact same role and the storyline played out exactly the same, where he's crushing Aerostar and Drago, just like he's done with many a luchador in Mexico, do you think it goes over better than Jake Strong?
Do you want to? Do you mean with us personally?
Because he did it better. Because he murdered people.
Okay, here's the thing.
Popcorn come out of people's eyes.
The storyline is that, and I'm just going to spell it out because this is what they did, and it was kind of subtle, but Jake Strong is a god. Maybe he's the limo guy, probably, but he's another god that's coming in to take over the temple. And, you know, there we go. Aerostar and Drago are directly implicated in that storyline. That's one of the major storylines of Lucha Underground, which they kind of gotten away from, and I wonder if they had to cool that whole sort of thing because they didn't get the people that are supposed to be in it.
Maybe. But okay, so here's my other question.
Yeah.
Maybe this is for Casey. I don't know. Maybe me. Who would you brought in from Mexico in the same storyline? You give a Latino performer the Jake Strong storyline. Who would that be?
Murder Clown.
Okay, I can see that.
I would keep Swagger or Cross if it's limo guy. But
well,
I think you bring in other luchadors and you give them the spots where they get killed in the ring, because these guys are featured heavily in the ring and outside the ring, and they're strong in their vignettes and they're awesome. I like them a lot, but they could be doing something else. Like, even if they're just coasting in the ring, they're not jobbing out to a big racist white guy, which is what Jake Strong was in WWE.
No, look, you know, I realized also we were talking about the Sammy Guevara effect and how somehow he's getting over as a face in Lucha Underground. I've forgotten that he ran up against the Jake Strong brick wall at the beginning too, and that's part of why. Because the Latino fans, especially in the temple, were more behind him than Jake to begin with. So then when Sammy reemerges later after that whole debacle, he gets this huge face pop, and that's a big part of it. So
yeah, but what did they do with that? You know what I mean? Like,
well, we're gonna see next week.
Putting Swagger in it is the same as putting Sam Adonis.
No, because you know why I would like Cross in this role more? Because it's making a new star instead of pushing a WWE guy to the top and saying, once again, this WWE guy is better than all of our homegrown talent, which they did with Johnny Mundo as well. Much as I love Johnny Mundo, as much as he's a team player, he was not a homegrown talent, and I feel like they should be on the top.
Well, but let's not forget that part of the reason that happened was Kevin Cross was literally at a WWE tryout when the season was coming together at the last minute. And also, had that not been the case, maybe he would have still been in this part. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, but then they had him for 2 years. They had him for 2 years before that, so they did nothing with him. So
also, they still got Cross in a very interesting, unique role that highlighted every single strength and interest of his. I mean, they still delivered on Cross.
Yes, and the 2.5 year thing. Keep in mind also that they weren't on TV or taping for like a year and a half of that.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean? They could have gone, right, we're going to give you this character.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Down a bit.
I really feel like it would have been smart for them to bring him in at the end of season 3.
Yeah.
Instead of what we're getting right now, which is literally just bringing him in at the end of season 4. I mean, he has had one match.
They brought in Bestia at the end of season 3 as well.
Well, and there's also an argument for why you don't do that.
Yeah.
They brought in Chelsea Green at the end of this season, and we see how that's gone already. I mean, she gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and who knows with Cross, man, they fucking dick around too much with getting a season 5. Maybe he's gone too. Who knows? Yeah. I mean, you heard him here last week. I don't think that he has any desire to do that, but
no, but he was very specific and eloquent about it last week.
Well, the other thing he was very specific and eloquent about was that he had no animosity towards AAA, but he pretty much felt like they were fucking up because he had no idea what was going on with them either. Since Kevin Cross has publicly said these things on the show, his phone has rung and he is currently taping in Mexico for the AAA TV tapings right now as we speak. I find that very interesting.
So any wrestlers out there who want to get booked anywhere, just come here.
Yeah,
slag them off.
You got some gripes that you want to talk about of not getting booked in certain places. Come on by. We'll see if we can help you out by letting you talk about it.
I love that. Oh my god, that is so great, dude. That's funny.
That's how Hogan's back in the WWE.
But that also goes to show you a little bit of how AAA works, man. It's like Cross is a decent dude, and the fact that he's not going to be the guy to complain a lot. It was actually, and he wasn't even trying to do that last week. Like, I cornered him and made him talk about it, and he knew I was going to make him talk about it, but he went for it, and he's not going to bullshit or lie about it either. But he would have never volunteered that information. He would have never gone into business for himself. He would never go out on social media and be like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck's up with AAA. Like, that's never going to happen without somebody directly questioning him about it. But at the same time, it goes to show you why certain things go the way they go in AAA, because squeaky wheel gets the grease down there. Whoever's got the juice in the locker room and is using it is who's going to get pushed that week. It's just the way it is down there. I don't know why. And really, they still have this mentality that all they care about is filling up the arena day of, selling some Coca-Cola, and moving on. Like,
by the way,
the long-term storylines just mean nothing.
It's Jarrett versus Wagner, hair versus hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, tonight that's all.
Take that, LA Park. Oh, God. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Jarrett's gonna lose his hair. That's interesting. Unless
it'll grow out in 2 weeks.
No, it's funny because Jarrett's not gonna lose his hair because Cross is there and he's gonna fucking suplex Wagner into oblivion. Oh, this could be great.
That's what I think is funny too, is that they're basically still just bringing Cross down to like show up and smash somebody and not give him a real match. I don't think.
Hey, you know what?
Lucha Sorpresa to back him up, so he's.
What would you rather get paid for? Do a run in and drop someone on their head, or have to like take bumps and shit?
I mean, look, there's no question about it. I think that Kevin's role in AAA is genius. I don't care if he ever wrestles a match. Kevin, however, wants to get time in. There's a reason why he's not in WWE right now. He wants to actually wrestle with these guys. He wants to feel other people out in the ring. He wants to experience different styles. He wants to do a thing, man. He wants to go out there and be a wrestler. And, you know, the problem with a little bit of his persona is the fact that he does get paired up with Moose, and they are great on camera. He doesn't have to wrestle every week. He doesn't have to be that guy. You know, he doesn't have to go out there and have 20-minute matches every week because he can still entertain people for 20 minutes without doing that.
Yeah, I gotta say, if they, you know, Kevin Cross punches people a lot, so why isn't the team called Moose Knuckles yet?
That's what I said. Moose Knuckles would be perfect.
Yeah.
I'd buy a shirt. I'd buy a shirt that just says Moose Knuckles on the front of it.
Yeah, like
I mentioned Brian Cage joining as well at that point.
Well,
yeah.
No, I think that the Kevin Cross starts carrying brass knuckles. He comes out with Moose, and they're Moose Knuckles, and it's just a thing.
See, I said I'd buy the shirt.
Where's Vince Russo when you need him?
I spent money on a shirt that says "Where is Casey" on it, like asking where I myself am. So
that's funny.
Yeah. We don't get our own shirts for free.
He could get an English accent and become Count Killer Cross.
Oh shit! And wear a fucking monocle and a cape. Oh, dude, get him a cape. Dude.
I'm pretty sure he's got a monocle.
Yeah.
I think Cross has a monocle sitting around.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
A cane with like an actual skull on it or something.
And a cape with a fucking warlock collar, so they think he's like a vampire count, because he could be both. You know, he usually wrestles at night.
Yeah.
Well, the other cool thing about
I feel like we're giving bar wrestling all these ideas right now.
Yeah, that's pretty much going to happen in bar wrestling. The other cool thing with Cross is that it was announced that I don't know if it's coming week or in 2 weeks, that he's going to face off against Johnny Mundo for the belt.
Yeah.
What's up with that? That's big. That's a big deal.
That can't be next week. That's 2 weeks.
I think it's 2 weeks. They're promoting it as like a little mini event thing. Like it's got some name designation and everything, even though it's not a pay-per-view.
Did you
just laid out actual episodes aired where he attacks him?
Real talk, Byron. Did you already see this match?
Yeah.
Byron? You did in person?
I just watched Impact, and Cross, like he said last week on our show that, you know, it's time for a change, and he is the true agent of change. He said that to Mundo after he beat him up, which I don't know if Mundo could hear him, but that was the closing shot of Impact this week, was Mundo, the champ, left lying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might have been too unconscious to hear him, right? Like, yeah, too dead. But hey, it's fine, because you know what? You know what? If this leads to a main event and a title shot, I mean, come on. How much are you going to be able to keep a belt off of a man like Killer Cross? It's like,
I don't know if you put it on him yet, but maybe you do. An Impact. I mean, Impact's got a lot to consider, though. They need to make stars, and look, belts are there to make stars, but they also need prestige, and belts are there to carry prestige. And no offense to Cross, but I do think that Mundo does carry a certain lineage with him that helps the image over there in the short term. I don't think he's a guy you leave the belt on for a long time, but I would like to see a more extended feud too. Like the first time Byron and I saw Mundo and Cross go at each other, wasn't bad. Definitely wasn't bad. Like, you know, you could tell Mundo's been doing this for a long, long time. He wasn't helping Cross through or anything like that. Cross was definitely getting his shit in, but Mundo certainly had a different kind of pacing than Cross did at the time.
And that was a bar wrestling show that you saw that?
No, that was FSW.
FSW.
In Vegas. Yeah. But since then, Cross is also on a different level. He's gotten a lot more time in the ring. He's gotten a lot more guys that are at that same level as Mundo since then. So I'll be really excited to see where, you know, what kind of performance the two of them can put on together now over a year later. And I know that they've worked out with each other a little bit here and there, you know, when they were going down to Mexico together as a kind of a unit, but we'll see where it goes. So they have history. They've worked together before, and I think it's leading the right place. And look, here's a guy that 2.5 years ago came on this show, certainly was not a guy who was in the title picture in any televised promotion at that point in time, you know, and for him to get himself to that kind of place in that amount of time is pretty impressive.
I feel like the only way Johnny Mundo walks out of that match champion is if he's wearing the belt on the inside.
Certainly ain't walking out.
That's nasty.
That would make his abs look pretty fucked up.
I just watched the recent episode of Impact earlier, and I started watching a little bit ago about when the latest reset started happening, and then we saw new faces begin to come in. Like we saw Cross came in. We talked about that in depth last week. Like Sue Young comes in.
Tasma.
Some guy.
But like these new characters who were having success on the independents, and they come in, and you see some of them are adapting and some of them are being slow burned in, but they're all like new. And you're wondering how all the pieces are going to be put together. And then this last one, it looked really cool. Like they had everything fit, crosses all over the place. And, you know, when you're talking about if Cross could take the belt, I think as far as his presentation in the show, especially after surviving the recent incident, I think he could legitimately be a champ right now on Impact. Like he's held in that regard on the show, presented in that regard.
Now that he's no longer with the Vanilla Midget,
but it's just
now it's with Moose. They've kind of gone on in like a character where you can actually go, okay, he can be a world champion. Whereas before it was like going, even if say Austin lost it, and it was like against for Cross, he thinks himself still. He's in that group, and it's not really it's the group. They don't really need the belts, so you know. And now, with just him and Moose, it's like, okay, yeah, you can have the belt. Moose is his little backup, kind of the guy. Makes sense.
Well, also, and just I'm getting tongue-tied, but basically these two guys had to come up with their character. They had to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like they were lackeys, and now they're doing their own
But
thing.
see, to me, it's so weird too, because they were lackeys for what, 3 weeks? I mean, Moose was in the title picture himself before this, and then, you know, Cross came in with this huge debut like he was fucking Y2J Jericho, and you know, then they get paired up with Aries for a hot second, but really, we're talking 1.5 cycles of programming. That's it. That's not a lot. And so breaking that mold, it's not like everyone got used to them being butt boys. No one got used to them, you know, being on some bizarre valet Kohai status. Like, and they were pretty prevalent in that program. You know, they were getting stick time. They weren't just what my man said for, you know, they weren't Flavor Flav and Aries the whole time. Like, they were actually getting their own promo time on top of that. So it's really not a terrible place, and it wasn't a terrible little holding pattern just to keep them at the top, and it gives them a reason to make sense moving right into the title picture and the top of the program, either one of them.
Yeah.
I still want to see those two fight each other, though. I know Cross doesn't want to hear that, but
yeah, I want to see them fight each other. But after talking to Cross about it, and after watching another promo with Moose and Cross, I kind of want to see a lot more promos with Moose and Cross. Also, I want to see Moose. I haven't watched a lot of his matches, but what I did see him work at the taping, he seemed to be working a lot of like Japanese strong style type stuff, and I would love to see Cross really help him crisp a lot of that up and maybe just really hurt people. That would be fun.
Well, I mean, he's doing Japanese strong style, but he's doing it football tackle, you know, style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's it's really American strong style is what it is. It's that old kind of bruiser vibe.
It's Mid-South style.
Yeah, it is. Very Mid-South 90s kind of style. Which is good. Never disliked that style. But at the same time, you gotta find guys to work with you with that style, and you still gotta be able to let them get off high spots in this day and age. You can't shut down the high spots for it like the top guys in Mid-South would back in the day. You know?
Yeah, because if you didn't hit them hard, they didn't fucking sell it.
Wrestling does not need another Harley race right now. That's not what wrestling is gonna. And it's and even if it did,
man on God's green earth, Justin, the greatest man on God's green earth. Take the money, Justin. Take the money.
Classic.
Yeah.
We got a lot of practice saying that, didn't
it hurts my throat. It hurts my throat.
That's what she said.
Oh.
Everyone's like, oh, God, Grizzly. Oh. Like you were.
There was a funny part where in their tag match this week, there was a dive, and the catch of the dive was, I would say, really bad. Like Moose tried to catch him with the back of his own neck.
Oh, fuck.
And I don't know.
Oh, it's a great catch. It's exactly the way you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, don't go to the Los Boricuas school of catching people on dives, please. R.I.P. Crypt the Keeper. He's not really dead, but Edge ended his career. Oh, fuck. That was the worst dive catch I've ever seen. The catcher got injured. I've seen some pretty bad ones where the diver got injured, you know. Like, we've seen countless ones of those, but...
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, that one was brutal.
There was the DJZ or Zima Ion back then, actually, and Jesse Sorensen.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, outside, that was a fucking brutal catcher kill.
Yeah, that was pretty close to what happened with Edge, except kind of facing the opposite direction. Oh, man.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because shit, and then it was Edge's debut, and he didn't get to do any of his moves, so they had to like announce him the winner after like 12 seconds. Oh man, it was a whole thing. But that was the great Crypt the Keeper, and that's how his career ended. Terrible, sad.
Well,
Casey, do you have any moments in your wrestling background that aren't sad moments?
The time that The time that Marty Jannetty got thrown through the barbershop window.
Okay, see, that's fun. See, like I love like I like when wrestling's fucked up. Like I like that whole, Mike Awesome showing up, dropping the belt, ECW crazy thing where all three promotions somehow had to butt fuck each other that one day just to get the belt off the guy. Like,
we know that's why you're so positive about this shitty season of Lucha Underground.
Maybe it is. I mean, I kind of like it when wrestling is a hot mess. Yeah. There might be something wrong with me.
Chelsea Green fan, that's why. Massive Chelsea Green fan.
Oh, this is true. This is true.
I am a massive Chelsea Green fan. But get this. I don't particularly like the hot mess character.
Oh, I think it's hilarious.
And every time she puts up one of the polls, I'm always like, no, go as yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not being funny, but I did not expect the performance out of her against Pentagon. I didn't think she could actually do that.
Oh God, no one did. Absolutely no one did. Like I expected it to be interesting, but what she did with Pentagon was nothing short of amazing for the level at which she was supposed to be. Clearly, she is at a much higher level, and clearly WWE saw that too, and they're like, "Hi, Chelsea, you want to just come on over here now? Your boyfriend's been talking about you forever. You can just show up tomorrow."
Oh, and man, speaking of her boyfriend, dude, I got to put over his podcast, the Major Wrestling Figures podcast. Fucking amazing, actually. I love it. It's great. I'm not being sarcastic. I really love that podcast.
So do you think that Pentagon match might be the best match that she's going to have for the rest of her career now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she's going to have some good ones. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'd love to see her in a program with Charlotte. I think she'd do great with Charlotte. I think she'd do great with Alexa Bliss. I would be bored to tears if her and Ronda or Becky or Sasha or Bailey or any of those girls. Maybe Ruby would be fun, but I don't know. Like, but
just being reminded.
I mean, is anyone like super excited to see like an Alicia Fox Chelsea Green program? Don't think so.
Fuck Alicia Fox.
I bet you'd like to.
Literally.
I don't know. I like Alicia Fox, but I just don't think she's going to get a match.
Her wig game's
on much fun.
Now, here's the other thing that I do think is cool, though. As we speak right now, there is an entirely all-women's pay-per-view on WWE. I didn't want to mention it at the top of the show because I didn't want people to like run away and go watch that instead. But what surprises me is when you look at these women who have supposed to be at the top of the women's divisions, they're all in like these 6-way matches. Like, Asuka and Ember and Mickie James and Nia Jax, all these people that were at the top of the program on the first ever women's pay-per-view are all of a sudden in 3-way dances and 6-way matches and all this. It's a clusterfuck. I don't understand. Like, pick the top 8 women, give them real programs, let them have some matches, and do a real thing. Like,
I think it's because they've got to admit that a lot of the women that are there are absolutely fucking shit.
But so are they trying to cover them with the other? I mean, look, Sasha's had major programs. She can do a 20-minute match. Maybe 10 of it will be good. Bailey can do 20. Is that what it is? I mean, it's weird because it's like, here, ladies, here's a pay-per-view for you. But yet, by the way, we have absolutely no faith that you can carry this show. So we're going to stack it to protect all of you and not let anybody go out there and wrestle. And the person that we're going to actually let go out there and wrestle is Ronda, who's the newest one here.
Yeah,
2018, and the Bellas are going to wrestle them. They are pure dog shit. They should be obliterated off the face of the fucking earth. They are scum.
Wow.
Tell us how you really feel, Meef.
Hey, can I say, while we're shooting, 6 and 7-way matches are creatively bankrupt and are just half-assing your job as a booker. How was that 7 to Survive match this week on Lucha Underground? Boom! Oh, I'm sorry. I had to because I hate that shit.
Look, 7 to Survive would have been great if the one who survived was Dante Fox.
Well, yeah.
That's the only booking that makes sense for that match. Like, Jake Strong needs to walk through the same 7 people again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
what I mean. You could have had a screwy finish last week.
And I
And then this week, Jake wins, but like it would have been like, oh, someone different won. But like now it's like, oh look, the guy who did the same match twice, he won. He's so much better than everybody else.
I mean, I like the guy. I genuinely like the guy a lot. He's a mixed martial artist. He's going out there. He's training right now for his Bellator fight. You know, nicest guy on the planet, salt of the earth, kind of down home, nice guy. Never hurt anybody. I mean, like I told you, me and Willie Mack hung out with him forever at Ultima Lucha 4. Like, are those the three people you expect to see shooting the shit for an hour outside of the temple? Is Willie Mack, Jack Swagger, and my dumbass? No. Nicest guy in the world. And I'm very, very happy for him and the push that he's getting. But at the same time, I don't understand the booking of that match. I just don't understand how you don't put it on AR Fox.
Yeah. I think there's two elements at play here. There's one, AR Fox is awesome, and he's been gone the whole season. And it's like the Crow Sting effect where he hasn't wrestled forever. When he comes back, it's the biggest match of the year. But I think bigger than that is there's a storyline that
I agree
that Jake Strong is a part of that is playing out and has precedence over that. So they just did,
especially if it's the storyline that you guys are speculating that it is, because that's been 3 years in the making.
So yeah, and so I think they gave Fox, if the storyline, you know, I don't know exactly what's going on because we haven't even seen any of the vignettes, but I think they gave Fox the best that they could. And the thing is, like, in all reality, what do? Do you try and capitalize on Fox for 2 episodes if you only have them for like 2 matches, or do you not like use them in a bad way and wait to use them properly?
I don't know.
Like the second best way to show for him to show off ended up leaving a really bad taste in everyone's mouth.
I mean, look, Lucha Underground helped catapult Ricochet to where he's at right now. It looks like Killshot is probably not too far behind. I don't know that he's going to leave or anything, but it definitely, like Lucha Underground combined with some of the stuff he's doing on the indies, he is on another level now. Mm-hmm. Dante was the next guy in line for that of the Americans that they brought in. And I think you go ahead and do that because I think eventually you're going to lose him anyway. You know, he's got a phone now. He's got social media now.
Yeah, he'll start getting...
It's over, man. Somebody's going to figure out how to get in touch with him and offer him a real job. This 4 weeks a year thing isn't going to last for a lot of these people. You know, maybe you can keep the Martin Casauses of the world around, but even him, like, I'm worried he might jet off to WWE one of these days soon. You know, it's not like he doesn't have contacts over there. I don't know. So the match itself, what did you guys like? What did you dislike? What were the spots you liked?
I love the Drago.
Drago?
Yeah.
Yeah. As cool as the dive was, seeing Drago in the high vis and the hard helmet was fucking amazing.
Absolutely classic, right?
That was just awesome.
I can confirm that is the moment that DJ is most proud of in the whole second half of the season, by the way. You know? We can get on him all day long about his booking of this, that, and the other thing, but I can tell you right now that if everyone appreciates that spot, I'm pretty sure that's all he actually cares about.
Well, that's nice. It's nice to know. Sorry, I thought I muted myself when I went to go get cookies, so I hope I wasn't like really loud while you guys were trying to talk. Now, because you know, we got some of those cookies with the frosting that makes your dookie weird colors. You know what I mean?
Oreos.
No, like there's these toxically bright colored cookies that you can get at Ralph's out here, especially that make you have like blue and purple and pink poop.
See, this is yellow, so I'm just gonna look like I have malaria or something. But
yeah,
well,
that's amazing. Wait, so you didn't like the hard hat thing, Casey? I mean, you didn't even watch the whole episode, did you?
I didn't watch 5 minutes of the episode. I saw who went over and who didn't, and I'm like, I'm not watching this.
Drago in a hard hat comes out with the forklift for a high spot for Aerostar. Pretty amazing.
And I thought he was going to jump on the lighting rig at first. I thought he was going to jump on the lighting rig. and then die from there. But
no, it was pretty awesome. Seeing it live was amazing too. Like, and we spotted Drago early ahead of time. I don't know if it's cut exactly the way it went down live, because I feel like Drago came out in the hard hat and was directing traffic for a minute first, and then went back and got the forklift.
So was that a higher dive than the one he did at Ultima Lucha 1 that was fucking insane, or was that?
Oh God.
Yeah.
It was a safer spot, but it may have actually been higher, but it was more straight shot down.
Yeah, because that first one was very not safe.
Yeah, no, this was not sketchy at all. This was well planned. This went off the way it was supposed to. It looked good. AR's dives looked good. Everybody's dives in. AR worked surprisingly safe, by the way, and still managed to keep it exciting. And I hope he takes a note from that, because he did not go as wingnut crazy as he normally does.
Yeah.
He didn't lose a limb and lose some flesh out the back.
No, but he took a couple bumps that were really not good. Like when he did that one dive and he hit the guys, but he ended up just basically jumping off the second floor and landing on his own ass.
Oh.
I don't think we saw, like.
Yeah, but in the past he would have done the flip and splayed himself out and not care how he landed. Like, he was working a lot safer in the fact that he still landed it without necessarily hitting the dive perfectly, you know? Yeah. And he was doing that a couple of times tonight, where he was taking the softer bump, where he was curling up a little bit better. He was getting his feet back under him. He did not used to do that. I mean, I've seen the dude lay himself out on guardrails before, like take a dive off the third rope to a guardrail and miss and lay himself out hard on a guardrail.
Well, I've seen him do worse on broken glass and shit. So, I mean, some of the CZW bumps, fuck.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're sick.
Yeah. Yeah, and we saw him lose
low main pain this week. That was cool.
Cuerno did some nice things. He was tending face, helping out there.
I think that he's... I don't know what Cuerno is. Is he a face or is he a heel in Lucha Underground?
We don't know what the first season at all. It seemed like he was going to have quite a big season from the kind of, trailer.
Well, judging from his win-loss record, I think the term you're looking for is jobber.
Yeah. He's nice boy Cuerno now. He doesn't hunt people. He kind of just he runs at them and gets killed.
Yeah. Poor
all
guy.
Right, Heath. So what do you do with Cuerno at this point? What do you do with his character? Do you still want to see him get pushed to the top?
Well, the thing is like when the first 1 and a bit series, his character was quite high up on there. And again, we're going back to the Aztec God thing here. That I'd love to go back to, but that's when he was more important as a character. As a wrestler, he's like one of the best ones in there. But like in terms of character, just in the show, he was important then. Obviously, he got injured with his back and neck.
Right.
That caused a lot of issues for the third series. But like coming into this, I thought maybe he's gonna. But the storyline isn't there for him, and the episode count isn't there for him to possibly do it, because he was in, I think, a couple of the early episodes. Again, quite big, getting the TV time, and it was like, oh shit, this is going to be quite massive. And then he wasn't on for 6 or 7 episodes, maybe 8. And then,
Well, and you wonder why I hated on him so bad before, but this is why I was hating on him before. It's not him. It's not the performer. It's that I hate being dick teased with characters that are going to be something or do something, and then they don't. Or they can't for some reason.
Hey, Justin, where's Nightclaw?
Yeah, but that's different. I mean, that was a one-off thing.
Hanging out with me. Nightclaw's hanging out with me.
The Cuerno promise was made to us probably on 6 different occasions now. And never once fulfilled.
I'm not trying to do the whole Phantasma needs to be pushed into massive angle, because he's my boy, but if we're talking about the Jake Strong thing, alternatives, I know it take away the limo guy and take away that whole Aztec God angle of it. Cuerno, the hunter, doing an angle where he's taking people out one by one every week makes sense.
I would have had him be the reason, when we stopped seeing Bengala, I would have had him kill Bengala. Like, why not,
Yeah. Have Bengala's head on the actual, you know, on a mask up on the thing. Never explain it, but just have it in his room, and he'd be like, "Oh shit!"
using it as an ashtray for a cigar.
The thing is, I'm not being funny, but like you've got that character on there. I'm not saying he has to kill every character off, but it's the kind of person you use to be like Dario's hired him to go and take him out.
How awesome would it have been if he was the one who took out Prince Puma?
Yeah.
And you just see Prince Puma's shit hanging on his wall.
Exactly.
Like, you know, they still do the thing with Puma walking away and taking his mask off, and then you just see Cuerno come up and just fucking murk him, and then you see all his shit on a wall somewhere. It's great.
Yeah, or even before Puma takes his mask off, as he's walking out of the arena, like that little shot, Cuerno's waiting for him, and he goes, "You know what's going to happen," and then just shanks him, takes his mask off his corpse, and takes it to his lair. That's how you fucking. You show Puma and Nightclaw crossing the street together, and then Cuerno's car just runs them both over, and then he puts them in his trunk and drives away.
Did you say crossing their streams together?
You know what they should do?
Maybe.
They should take Puma and then bring in a brand new character and have the character say, "Hey, I killed Puma. That's why Puma's not here." And then have the character sign with WWE like a week later.
I wanted that to be Leo Rush. I really thought that he could have been Mini Puma and been perfect.
I wanted it to be Vinny Massaro, and I think they killed him too. You know, we never saw the body.
Vinny who?
Leopard print.
Vinny
who?
Leopard print vest.
Oh, dude, how awesome! This has nothing to do with Vinny Massaro, but what if Ultimo Panda came and became the new Prince Puma while still being a panda, and he was just Prince Panda?
Yeah.
See, I have the good booking ideas. I'm just saying.
Could he not be Pumda?
Pumda? Yeah, I don't know. That sounds like a sexual technique or something.
That's what I'm saying. I like the name Pumda. I think that'd be hot.
They'll be like, "What's a Pumda? Bend over and I'll show you."
Yeah, Pumda.
Oh.
Well, you know about Punami, don't you? Obviously.
We're gonna have to make a Pumda shirt now, with just Jim giving an OK sign, and it says Pumda. It's a word that
Jim.
I don't know, but it's a word in whatever his native language is. No, Jim, come on. You asked where Jim
is Jim bathing in virgin white women right now? What's going on? Why is he not here?
I just know that the answer's fucking. I don't know who or what. But the answer's fucking. I saw that there were Full House action figures at Target, and he might have like read my mind and went to go buy them. I don't know.
I just hope that he's drinking enough water and staying hydrated.
Yeah, that's probably would be smart.
But go back to the corner thing. Just let him win a match. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Or decide what you do with his character, because have him be, like I said, the hitman killer, taking people out and then taking their shit and putting it on his wall. Or at the minute they kind of made him a little bit soft. Which is okay.
I mean, I really thought he was just gonna be. I thought he was gonna be Predator. Like I thought that was where we were going.
That's what I was hoping for. That's what I was like. Forgetting the first and a half series.
Look, if Cuerno turns into Predator, I'm his biggest fan overnight. I will bandwagon the fuck out of that. I will join in wholeheartedly if Cuerno becomes Predator.
Now watch, you're gonna get season 5. He's gonna have dreadlocks hanging out of the mask, and they're gonna be like, "Look, we made him Predator." It's like, no, you have him losing to Son of Havoc.
Well, if Killshot loses his mask, they'd be short one dreadlock mask dude. So.
Yeah,
we don't know that that's going to be the case, but it could be. It's
50-50 chance. You know, it's great that after all of the shitting that they got on them for having an Apuestas match with a guy that already lost his mask against Sexy Star, they learned by just having two guys that wrestle unmasked everywhere else have an Apuestas match instead. You know, good times.
But holy shit, it's strange. I mean, it makes sense though. In the original Lucha Underground world, because I'm going to say this, I'm turning it to a multiverse now. Lucha Underground is in the original Lucha Underground. It makes sense because the whole idea was it was a proper underground fighting thing,
which I've always said that they should lean on more because I think
makes sense
in the moments where you don't have the Aztec mythology to lean on. that you should always be leaning on. It's an underground fight club, which is why I wanted Vinny Massaro to be like a bookie. Like they should be leaning on that the whole time. That's just me, because that, to me, that's the Robert Rodriguez grindhouse side of it that they're missing sometimes. I get the Aztec culture thing, and I love it, and I love when they bring it back, and I love when they slow roll it and play it out over time. That's one of my favorite things about the whole show. But that just gritty, like, hey, this guy is running Fight Club, kind of thing. I feel like they forget that all the time.
That seems to have really worn off this last series, especially. It's like non-existent now.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like you have the whole idea of, like, they said taking money off people and stuff like that. It's just, oh god, I can't remember what I was going to say now.
That's all right.
Casey's the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
Throw bodies in fires.
Dude, I keep missing the fucking fire. I keep trying, and I keep dropping them next to the fire. I just murdered a dude. I got a box of crackers and some chewing tobacco. But you know what? He has a nice hat. I'm going to fucking steal that.
What are you playing?
Red Dead? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just murdered a dude. See, like, he has a pretty nice hat, but I have this bowler hat because I'm, like, a gambler now, and I'm, like, dressed all nice because... Yeah, I don't know, though. Like, the last guy that really beat me at poker, I murdered him. And the bounty was more than the money I took off of his body, so it wasn't really all that worth it.
No.
That's a pretty nice rodeo hat that I just pulled out of a pool of blood and placed on my head. I like it. Have you
found the dismembered body yet?
I did, Meath. I did, and it was beautiful. Yeah. It was. Yeah.
Chained up underneath the thing. I was like, oh.
Oh, did you go drinking with Lenny yet? No. Oh, God, it's one of the best missions I've ever seen in any game. Oh, it's so great. You will die laughing. You will die laughing. And also, apparently, Arthur Morgan has no penis. You can see in that mission.
Great.
But me and me for both playing Red Dead. Byron and Justin should be. I was going to drop some major news on this podcast and say Target has buy two, get one free on video games, board games, and children's books. But there's fine print that says you can't use it to buy Red Dead.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. So, but you can get WWE 2K19. You can get Soul Calibur 6. Soul Calibur 6 is good.
Pretty much everything except the hottest game out there, which is the only thing you actually want to buy.
Exactly.
$80 on other stuff that you don't want.
Call of Duty just came out. People are going to want that. I think that's where most people are going to be using it. And WWE. Wait until Black Friday if you want that shit. Come on. But Red Dead, a game like this only comes once every 8 years. You have to get it.
I can play Sunsets now without thinking of Red Dead.
Wait, so is Red Dead also on Xbox?
Yes, it sure is, Justin.
Wow, so I can actually play this one?
Yes.
Yeah, but get a PlayStation so you can join a mine in Casey's gang.
Yeah. If you want to be in our posse, and Byron, we'll even let you in our posse, bro. Because you've got a huge posse.
Don't do that.
Wait, did I say posse? Come on, Byron.
Posse is the wrong word, I think.
It's when I think of cowboys in the Ang Lee sense, I think of Byron, and the movie fans will know what that it's referring to. No,
we get what you're saying. It's what you usually say.
We're talking about that Incredible Hulk movie, right?
Yes. So if you want to see Eric Bana, that'll be Byron's Create a Cowboy. I think you'll get to make your own too. The online hasn't launched yet, so everyone's just playing the story mode and having fun with that. And it's pretty amazing. There's a lot of shit going on in that game. God damn. I don't think I'll ever see everything that it has to offer, but I'll damn well fucking try.
Skinned a gator today.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. Io Shirai or Tony Storm?
WWE Tony Storm.
Io Shirai, totally. Jesus.
Tony Storm. We're split evenly.
I have to get a thing on this. I have to say a thing about this because this week I have been arguing with a guy at work who is, I will call, a casual wrestling fan. He likes wrestling.
And he likes women in tights, basically is what you're saying.
Yeah. He likes Korean pop music.
Okay.
So I don't know why he likes Korean pop music.
Because he's a pervert, Meatloaf. He's a pervert.
Yeah, but
he has a Prince Albert. He has a Prince Albert. So yeah, he's an interesting individual.
He's a prevert.
What? Don't we know another podcaster that has one? I'm just saying, because I'm pretty sure we all do. You know who I'm talking about, right, guys? Right?
Jim.
No, not on our show. Well, he's been on our show.
Jim could no. There's no way Jim could get one of those because he would just wear the medal down within a week.
Yeah, he would have to get
too much.
Maybe he's got adamantium. Maybe
adamantium. Gets that marble hookup, gets the adamantium in there, and
just a lot of friction.
He just goes fucking snicked and his boner pops. You know how it is.
I mean, if you were making
Jim
a point,
it's like a cowbell. When Jim walks, it's like a cowbell.
Meef, what was your point about Yo Shirai?
Okay, so this guy at work, he lives in a WWE universe, and I kept on telling him about Io Shirai way before, and he was like, "Oh, Kairi Sane's really good." I was like, "Going yes, but she was good before."
But there's one better.
Yeah, I was like, "But Io Shirai's better." And he's like, "Oh," and he came to me the other day, I think I want to say Thursday, and was like, "Io Shirai's terrible."
What?
And I was like, yeah. So he thinks she's legitimate shit. I was trying to explain to him. I was like, going, WWE Universe, she's not been that long. She can't do half of the stuff she can do, like as in in her repertoire, and he just wouldn't have it. And he thinks Toni Storm is actually a better wrestler.
God damn it! You know what, Meef? You got to show him that Pentagon match.
I think Toni Storm.
I tried to get him.
Toni Storm is
Toni
better
Storm.
Business, but I would never say she's a better wrestler. I think that she is the future of the business, and they need to have her win this thing, and they need to put her on the main roster because the rest of the girls could work with her all day long. She could cut a promo. She's good for business. She'll draw money.
She needs to learn how to do a hookup though.
Yeah, maybe.
Really
why? Why? Because who's she gonna hook up with? Like any of the other ones know how to hook up?
She's gonna hook up with Jim.
Realistically, what white woman in her 20s isn't?
Yeah.
It's gonna be funny when we have the army of.
What's the next shirt instead of "Where's Casey"?
Dude,
what's our Jim shirt? That isn't a giant cum stain.
Oh, it's Jim Velasco is my dad.
Because it's true for 42% of the country. 42% of half Asian, half white mulatto children are Jims.
Oh God, we can make baby onesies that say Jim Velasco is my dad. Oh
no, that's just we could save money instead of making a brand new shirt and having to do that. We could just buy those "Where the White Woman At" shirts.
Wow. I don't think he needs to ask that question. We all know they're at Jimmy V's house.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jim. You're not even here to defend yourself. Jim is not like some kind of prostitute. He's not.
When he defend himself, he'd just say "fucking right," and then it would move on.
Maybe.
That's what he's done in the.
And on the back, fucking.
Yes.
Yeah, but all the Jim's girlfriends listen to the show too, so I don't want to like mess him up. I don't want to mess up his thing.
They know each other. They're best friends.
I know. It's so amazing. It's so amazing.
Like, they all get together and they're like, "Why the fuck are you wearing that shirt?" And then I walk in wearing the Jim Skate shirt. And they're like, "Jim, is there something you want to tell us?" No, he's just my co-host. I swear.
We thought this was an exclusive, Jim.
They all get together and they work out their calendars. Jim doesn't even have to do the scheduling.
You've got him at 11. I've got him at 12.
He's got a strong refractory period. He might be able to do 11:30.
So anyway, I do think Toni Storm is really good for business, and I think Io Shirai is great. I think they could use her, however, on NXT. I think Toni Storm should go straight to the main roster. I think she's something that they're missing. They've got Kairi and they've got Asuka, and as much as Yo is better than in a lot of ways, she's not something that they're missing. Mm-hmm. She's just not, especially not the way they're going to present her and what they're going to do with her. WWE doesn't need her. They need Toni Storm. I think that Toni Storm is something that they're missing.
They don't understand what they've got sat there waiting.
Well, exactly. I'm just being realistic and talking within their fucked up universe, the way they already have it set up. They need Toni Storm more.
Well, also, Kairi won last year.
Correct, which makes it really hard to do that again.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't think they're going to do that again. Why the fuck haven't they signed Chris Wolf? What's going on with that?
Meatloaf has her
Just too
chained
good.
up in the basement.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope not.
Oh yeah, like Jim hasn't taken it from me.
Yeah, exactly. He already has. We know.
Alright.
I'm sorry, me.
Yeah. Motherfucker.
It's not just the white women that he takes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, so let us get to this Ultima Lucha 4 preview because I'm curious to know what you guys think of some of these matches, especially you, Meatloaf, and you, Casey, who were not at these things and do not have a dog in the fight necessarily.
Can I do a blanket statement, Justin?
Yes, you may do a blanket statement to start the Ultima Lucha 4 exclusive preview here on MMMshow.
MMMshow exclusive. If you put a wrestling show on Halloween, you can go fuck yourself. I'm Casey Nielsen. I approve of this message.
Okay, but that's only the first night. I don't even know what's on there. I think what you're gonna miss. I think they're gonna do Taya Mundo versus Ricky Mundo. I hate saying that, but that's
so the winner gets to be Johnny's real wife. Is that how it works?
Right, and the doll's gonna win. It's gonna be Rosa, the doll, that wins. So,
Hopefully, makes sense.
and we've talked about it a little bit before, but.
Are they gonna have Afro versus Mask?
No, we talked that would have been awesome. What do you think, Casey? Instead of it being Killshot versus Mac, it should have been, or Killshot versus Son of Havoc. It should have been Mac versus Killshot, and then it could have been Afro versus Mask. That would have been the best Apuestas match of all time.
I'm more excited for the death match between Mac and Mil Muertes because I fucking love both those guys, and giving them a death match and knowing what death match tends to mean in Lucha Underground and how fucked up they tend to be.
Yeah,
I'm down. You're not going to see Spooky spray painted on a fucking table. I'll tell you that much.
Breaking news, guys! It's Toni Storm. She just won.
Oh, spoilers!
Oh, we were right.
It just happened live. Like you guys are gonna watch that shit later?
Fuck no, I don't even subscribe, bro.
Toni Storm is your 2018 Mae Young Classic winner.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
And the finish looked a little botched to me. I just turned it on, and the finish looked a little rough.
Because Toni Storm can wrestle.
Well,
okay, so I'm picking up. I'm picking up.
She wrestles sloppy. I'm saying it.
Let me go down. Let me go down this list of Ultima Lucha 4 stuff. Let me stay on Ultima Lucha 4.
Yeah, go for it.
Taya Mundo versus Ricky Mundo with Rosa in a "you fucked up my wedding, so I'm going to beat you up and go over on you" match.
Hey, yeah, it's not like Matanza fucked up the wedding more or anything, but you know.
I mean, is there any world in which Taya loses this? I mean, I guess if Taya loses, that sets up some kind of distraction for Mundo if Mundo is also going to lose. But I feel like if she wins, he's going to win. And if she loses, he's going to lose. I feel like they either both have to win or they both have to lose. I don't know. Byron?
It's the year of Ricky Mundo, clearly. He's going to win this match, and then he's going to cost Johnny Mundo his match, and then he's going to get that gauntlet, and he's going to put it right on the fucking doll. And then the doll's going to have a giant hand like Fisto from He-Man. And then it's just going to rule the fucking temple instead of, like, you know, Dario trying to look like Shang Tsung and shit. You know what I mean?
Why does everyone love Ricky?
The end shot is going to be him face fucking the doll.
Maybe. Yeah. Why does everybody back in the back love Ricky Mandel so much? What has he done that is so awesome? Is there something that I'm missing?
Hand jobs.
Wow.
Is it that?
Wow, it's like
I mean, I don't hate on the guy at all. I've never really cared much one way or the other, but there's not a person I've talked to from the locker room that doesn't love that guy.
He's a very nice person. And he, you know, sometimes that goes a long way. Plus he's a solid hand. He works out, he's in good shape. He usually has good gear. He was really good as a skeleton. I mean, come on. Tracy was everyone's favorite skeleton. Let's not mince words here.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he actually beat up people in front of us because we were cheering for Tracy so hard at the first Ultima Lucha. So that was kind of great. I think it was a travesty what happened, and that Sinestro de la Muerte ended up being the only one that survived. Travesty.
I don't disagree, but look, he's clearly getting a pretty big push now.
No, and plus I like seeing a dude that I saw come up on the California Indies a bit get this kind of a push. I'm always a fan of that kind of thing. Oh, someone witnessed my murder. Well, they're not going to survive.
Byron, we need to have Ricky on the show. Make it happen.
Let's get Ricky on the show. Yeah, I kind of. Did you guys feel that this match was like really hot shotted?
What? Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel that any multi-man match this late in the season is an aftershot, especially if it's not for the gift of the gods.
No, Ricky Mundo.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the match this week. Well, yeah, but who knows if they're gonna have another season? You got to try to wrap shit up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just thought that. I don't know. I just felt like it didn't really make a lot of sense. And even with what they were saying, where he comes out and he says, "I ruined the wedding," and she comes out to challenge him to a match.
Yeah, and I feel like he should have been in a program with Drago or Aerostar or one of those guys. That's where he would have been better served. Yeah. You know, have some weird Rosa stuff with them and have a feud, and maybe one that turns the corner into the next season, kind of like Killshot and Marty did.
I would really like to see him in more matches with luchadors because he trained in the EWF. I think so. I'm pretty sure he knows how to work with those guys, and we haven't seen it much in any of his incarnations, actually.
No, we really haven't. He tends to get stuck in the feuds with the more American workers or whatever gang affiliated angle is going on at the time. Those tend to be the feuds that he ends up in. So I agree. It'd be interesting. I don't know what to expect from that match in general. So that's kind of my question mark match of the evening. You know, look, Taya can go, and I know that she's clearly determined right now. She kind of has turned a corner herself, and I feel like while John was away at Survivor, she was a little down and out. And I think that after he came back and she kind of got her head screwed on straight and the real wedding happened, I feel like after the real wedding happened, Taya kind of turned a corner and got her head back in the wrestling game. And this match was obviously post the real version of the wedding. So it'll be fun to see what happens. It'll be fun to see if she brings some fire. You know, and it's not often that the women get a chance to wrestle the guys. And when they do, just like Chelsea did with Pentagon, you got to take advantage of it because it is going to get more eyeballs on it to a certain extent. And it gives you a chance to work in a way that you can't necessarily always work with the other girls.
And remember how wrestling a dude is what put her on the map in Lucha Underground, because not one person that saw that cage match wasn't like, this girl's legit.
No, it's still to this day in my top 5 of Lucha Underground matches.
And seeing that shit live, oi.
One of the top 10 matches that's happened in the last 5 years.
It might even be up there. I mean, there's been a few really good matches.
Maybe 20 matches, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Like in terms of actually, if Dave Meltzer actually watched something for a change rather than just
if matches get a power rating, it definitely deserves a nice high one.
I feel like the last rating that I remember Dave giving a Lucha Underground thing was he gave Grave Consequences 5 stars. I remember that, and it deserved it. Or no, he gave it 4.
That was before the 5-star rating existed for Dave.
No. He had the 5-star. It wasn't 6 yet, and now it's 7. Yeah. Now it's 7, Justin.
Jesus
7
Christ.
Star. Because
really, are there matches that are so much better than the last one that was really, really good that it has to get its own rating even higher?
You gotta watch really long Kenny and Okada matches to answer that question, and I don't want to watch them more than once. I like the matches, but you know what I mean.
But you're still watching the same thing again.
Yeah.
Was it Ric Flair go an hour? Is there anyone watch that? Well done. Yeah, awesome. Bye.
I see, because I really could watch Flair Steamboat like 1,000 times, but I'm weird. But I'd rather watch Funk and Flair do the I Quit match. That's my favorite Ric Flair match.
That was a great match.
He's like, think of your neck, Flair. Woo! I'm gonna pile drive you right on your neck, Flair. Your mother's a whore.
Too much fun.
I really want to hear Casey do a Rhodes now, Dusty Rhodes.
Well, let me tell you something, Meatloaf. The blotches on my belly willy are an exact map to your bedroom, Daddy.
And you're gonna find out why they call me an American Dream when you're asleep tonight, Daddy. I should have listened on the sleep. I'm sorry.
Wow, that's frightening.
You've seen the bionic elbow, baby, but you haven't seen the bionic Johnson, baby.
Oh, boy. All right.
But you know who saw it was Sweet Sapphire.
Let me talk about the match that I am most looking forward to, most conflicted about, don't know what to make of it. All of my favorite people in the ring at the same time, because just like we said, the more people you put in a match, the better, right? But this one may be the exception, honestly. Eve Samlicious, which is now Evilise, Sammy G, and Exolicious, the Concrete Blonde Sunny Kiss. Concrete Rose Sunny Kiss, not the Concrete Blonde. Concrete Rose.
We're saying that Sammy G is hung enough to fill in for Joey Ryan? Is that what we're saying?
I'm saying
props, kid.
I'm saying that they don't need all that penis. I think XO's got it covered. So now they can move on to Sammy G because they realize they don't need that much penis.
This is good. They should just call the old team Too Much Penis then.
Right. And the new team is Just Enough Penis.
Oh shit. Shot a bear in the ass. You better run, motherfucker.
This podcast should be called Just Enough Penis when Jim isn't here, and when he's here, it's too much. You know what I mean?
Terrible. We're gonna go back to putting out that Max and dick joke shirt, aren't we?
Jim's got enough smell of lady on him that it's like, there's enough residual vagina to make it okay.
Let me tell you, Jim Velasco's dick is no joke, Justin.
Wow. Why does this show always end up just talking about penis?
I don't know, man. It happens more when I'm not on, apparently.
Byron is absolutely clearly obsessed with penis.
I don't know about that. I don't think I've said much.
1 month's penis.
There's a couple. No, he says the same things about Finn Balor and a couple other guys too.
Well, Finn Balor, confirmed. He confirmed it on Instagram. What the fuck? Now a moose is just attacking me? And do I smell like an animal? God damn it.
What did Finn Balor do on Instagram?
I have been watching, because I don't want to be all dirty, because if you're covered in someone else's blood, people won't sell you shit. Ugh.
Yeah, and Finn Balor appears on my TV right as you guys are speaking about him. Fancy that.
It's on an all-woman's pay-per-view. I'm not saying.
Did you know? He's
in the crowd. He's in the crowd. To be fair.
Dude, does he have an extra seat in front of him?
He's holding up a hugger section sign and he's cheering for Bailey right now.
Oh yeah, he's so in her friend zone, dude.
Not face fucking me Bailey sign. He's not one of them.
Yeah. Did you know though that right now during the pay-per-view WWE is running a house show?
That's awesome.
If anyone has any notion that this pay-per-view isn't anything but a resume line for Stephanie McMahon.
No, dude, it's a consolation for wanting to do a show in Saudi Arabia.
Well, yeah, it's because all these girls got paid to go to Saudi Arabia and didn't have to work, and Vince was like, yeah, but fuck that, you're still going to work for me on this all-women's pay-per-view, and I'm going to get it for free now.
Hey, pal, I got an idea for a show. Yeah, pal. We're going to call it Chocolate Titties.
Nope.
I just had to do it. I just had to do the bits.
What it's going to be called.
No.
All right. So Eve Samlicious versus the Reptile Tribe, which currently consists of Cobra Moon, Jeremiah Snake, and King Daga.
King Daga!
Versus the new Rabbit Tribe. So we have 3 old Trios teams that are now new Trios teams. And the new Rabbit Tribe is, of course, Paul Codpiece London, the magnificent El Bunny, and, of course, the White Rabbit, Mr. TikTok himself, Killer Cross.
Okay, guys, as much as we are, how we're usually pretty loyal to the Reptile Tribe on this show, give or take a couple members, but they're dead, so whatever. And I gotta say, all hail King Daga and Queen Cobra Moon, the gracious rulers that they are. But I got to give this to the Rabbit Tribe.
Ooh.
You know why? You know why? Because El Bunny can beat everyone in this match, including his own teammates by himself.
Look, after what they did with El Bunny in that debut match, I mean, he did all the work. Literally all the work, and I would love to see
all that
again.
shit he's been holding back while he was playing fucking El Torito, dude. Like, because legit, I know I've said it on this show probably before he even got signed as El Torito. I think I even did a bit when he got signed on this show. Mascarita Dorada, who he was before El Torito, is one of the greatest high flyers in the world. Any size, I'd say he's probably top 3 for me. And the other ones being like maybe like Ricochet or maybe Jack Evans from the Heavens, the inventor of Modern Lucha Libre. Maybe I like him, but Mascarita completely outclasses him in every way. Because okay, you see how great Grand Metalik is, how great Mascara Dorada is, right? And his mini was outclassing him. That's how fucking good this guy is. And he's finally getting a place to showcase it. So if anything good came from this season, it is him finally getting a showcase he deserves, which I think this match will be, which means he has to go over, which means they won't have him go over, and he'll probably die at the end.
I mean, but this does have to piss you off a little bit. It does have to piss you off a little bit that you've got this team, and we haven't been seeing them wrestle all season. It's like, how much better a combination of pure wrestling can you get than the wily veteranness of Paul London, who basically agents and writes the movements of half of the matches that you see on Lucha Underground. So we know he's fucking fire.
Absolute genius in the world of wrestling.
You've got Cross, who is up another level, can power spot and base like crazy, and is just fucking vicious in his presentation. And then you've got El Bunny, who is legit one of the best high flyers around and can work power spots as a mini and do all sorts of crazy Lucha Libre dives. And the dude's in impeccable shape for any wrestler, let alone a mini.
He takes.
He's healthy. He's healthier than most of the roster, which is also hugely surprising for a mini.
And, because he's built without, a lot of the leg problems that some of the minis have, kind of that rickety walk. I don't even know what the name, like kind of bow-legged walk that some minis get.
Yeah, even
that some little people get,
Sagrada has the same issue. I mean,
and they're brothers in real life, so it's like, except for this season when they were literally the same person, which is a little confusing. But no, the thing I'm mad about is these guys are a team now, and they weren't a team at the 9 million tapings I fucking went to, because I would be all in for this shit. I'd be having like a giant Rabbit Tribe sign. I'd be wearing fucking bunny ears. I'd have a fluffy little tail if I had to.
I mean, it is a good argument, that being said, to put the belt on them and then let them have a big season 5 run. I mean, I feel like they owe it to Cross a little bit. London's put in the time, and he's done. He's made wonders out of a gimmick that didn't even need to be a gimmick, and it's just a great combination. That being said, I really believe that Exolicious gets this year's Dante Fox Award for Breakout Star, and that is really conflicting to me on top of what you said, Casey, because I am also the hugest supporter of the Reptile Tribe. I will never turn my back on Queen Cobra Moon, but at the same time, Sammy G and XO, I wish I'd seen them wrestling together the whole season. I want to see what kind of spots they pull out. I think that's a great combination. And the charisma that Evie's bringing and the crowd heat that she gets, combined with the style, which is completely unique, that Exolicious is doing, and then Sammy bringing the just dumb charisma and bravado of a kid that doesn't understand how bad his body is going to hurt later in life, is a tremendous combination.
Which is why I want to see him wrestle Fox, and I want to see it for a long time.
Who, Sonny versus Fox?
Yeah.
I said that this week. That got a from a lot of people.
Sammy and Fox, man. Sammy and Fox is like,
That was my top tweet of the week, was me suggesting that to Eric, Roach, and DJ, that needed to be a feud. Their breakout star from season 3 versus their breakout star from season 4.
Fox and Sonny's a different video.
Fox and Sonny, Fox and Sammy. I'd see Fox and El Bunny. Do it.
Dub did once say, however, that he was never going to let AR Fox anywhere near Sonny. I don't know why he would say that, but
Um,
I love Meef. Nice reaction, Meef.
Oh man, it's kind of cool because it's cool.
No, I mean, I just think he wants to protect his 2 breakout stars. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, dude. If there's a season, I hope they come back. If not, it's because I hope they got a great contract somewhere else, like some other people that won't be coming back. But it is what it is.
Fox on Impact would be great. Him
Yeah.
and Max as a team, and Swan, maybe that as a trio.
Maybe, but he would be so underutilized and just stuck in the middle of the card. Like
He'd
AR
get
Fox
an
is the guy that I would
spot.
rather see AR Fox at NXT. I think he would actually fit in great at NXT.
I would
I
rather
don't know if
see.
I would see him on the main roster, but I think he would be top of the list at NXT.
I want to see him in Japan. I want to see him in DDT. I think he would be great there because there's things for him to dive off of.
Yeah, DDT would be a good spot for him.
And you know why I really want him there is because Speedball's there too, and him and Speedball having a match is like one of those dream matches for me, man. Speedball versus AR Fox. Oh, really?
Speedball was
Nice.
back in he was in the UK. He was in the UK because you were saying about his visa issues.
Yeah.
The other week.
So, Meef, who do
he
you
wrestled Friday.
Meef, who do you like out of
AR
these three trios? Who do you want to see win?
Well, want to see win would be the Reptile Tribe. All hail the Queen. But I think storyline they'll give it to Sonny, Sammy, and Evie. But
I mean, they have really had the storyline that's kind of leading there this season, haven't they?
that kind of, and again, we're reading into it, so therefore there'll be the opposite will be done. So
I mean, I really would like to see the Reptile Tribe keep it for a while though, too, especially for Thunder Rosa, because the way that she's wrestling towards the end of this season is on another level from where she was previously. And Daga, oh my God, like I want to, dude, can you imagine Daga and Cross in there together? Like I need that in my life. I'm just saying. Like, if they start, I want them to shoot on each other a little bit. Like, I want Daga to throw a little pepper on Cross one time and just see what happens. And maybe that's my sadistic, want in life, but that could be some straight fucking fire right there.
Yeah, I had to talk about the secret origin of the footprint on Cross's face on the podcast. That reminds me, actually. I did it on Markout Mania, so if you want to hear the story, you have to listen to that. Boom! Cross promotion.
Cross promotion. Go listen to Markout Mania. I'm gonna listen to it as soon as this is done. It looks like it's better than this pay-per-view WWE's got going right now.
I hear it's a good show.
Trajectory. They've got the Reptile Tribe have come off that big storyline, so they've got not much going on.
I think it's actually really good booking. All of these storylines have heat going into it. They have good trajectory. It's one of those matches where you really couldn't decide who was going to win or how to even book it. So we'll see how it goes.
In terms of the Rabbit Tribe are going somewhere in their own little storyline of getting the backstory of them out, and then you've got who's in the team now? Shit, Sonny and that have kind of got. They've been put together, so that's why I think they're going to win the titles.
Eve Samlicious?
Yeah, I think the Reptile Tribe were given the titles in the kind of aftermath of giving them something after the blow-off of the...
Yeah, that's the other thing. As much as I think that the Rabbits are the most dominant group that are coming into this, I feel like they have the most backstory stuff that they don't need the win.
Yeah, so they're going somewhere else with it, if you know what I mean. They're just doing this to showcase them, and then they got something after.
Yeah, I feel like storyline wise, hopefully we see more of them in the closing vignette and stuff like that. Like I want to see more storyline stuff too. And Cross, acting wise, has turned in a phenomenal performance so far. I mean, he's done more of that than wrestling in Lucha Underground by far. I mean, he's really just an on-screen presence, and I I hope that we get to see a little bit more of that before the season is over as well, because those first couple promos were awesome. And they were smart to bring him in promo-wise early in the season, even though they didn't let him fucking wrestle until the last quarter of the season. Anyway, all right, so enough about that one. That one should be interesting. Son of Havoc versus Killshot and Apuestas mask versus mask match. I'm not going to say where this is going, but I think it should really be obvious to most people.
I'll say it. Obviously, Shane
you weren't there, so you can say it. I was there, so I can't say it.
Shane Strickland's going to win, so he can be unmasked, because that was one thing he was complaining about. He wants to make money out of his image that way, was it not? And they love Havoc. He's made by them, so Havoc's going to keep his mask, and Shane Strickland's going to become Shane Strickland.
I believe that sounds like a decent theory, Meef. I don't know if
you know what storyline I would do is I'd have Killshot lose his mask, and then I'd have AR Fox go, "You're not the dude that fucking left me. Yeah. Sorry, that was some other guy."
Wow, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, we could be.
So
friends
basically, you want AR Fox to say all black people look alike, is what you're saying?
Well, no, I mean all masked people.
I want it to be AR Fox. Have AR Fox underneath the mask.
That would be awesome. Can he also wrestle the match as both Son of Havoc and Killshot?
Yeah. Yes. Oh God! Can he just kill? Can he just kill Son of Havoc and then take his place in the match?
Look. I will say this about that match though. This is the opportunity for Matt Cross to prove something to me personally. I go 50-50 on the guy. Sometimes I really, really enjoy him and I get into the character and I get into what he's doing and I'm totally behind him and he's a Cleveland homie. And then there's other times when I hate to say it, but honestly, he bores me to tears. And I really, this is Ultima Lucha, so I really want to see it stepped up a notch. I really don't want to see like kind of walking through those moves and being super safe. Like, don't get me wrong. I want workers to work safe, but I need them to work exciting too. I can't have them bore me to tears while they're being safe. So I would love to see him step up the work rate a little bit more so than the pain ratio, but the work rate and the sell too. I don't like the way that a lot of these indie guys sell. And I feel like Havoc. I don't know. Havoc doesn't no sell, but he indie sells for sure. And that's the style he's used to. And those are the guys that he came up with and the guys that he worked with. But if you look at the way that some of those guys have evolved, like the OVE guys, they fucking bump and sell now. They did not used to. You know, look at even the Undisputed Era and some of those guys. They're doing a better job, in my opinion, these days of bumping and selling.
Speaking of boring people to tears.
Well, I don't get me wrong. I still find them boring, but that is kind of where I put Matt Cross in the has every potential to entertain me, but has to break a bit of that indie style and work a little more ring psychology, give me a little more on the sells and the bumps. And not in a way that he's hurting himself, but in the way that he's portraying those bumps.
I do like that everyone shitty we just mentioned is from Ohio. That's kind of funny.
I noticed I didn't mention Gargano in that because I feel like Gargano is one of the guys from that group that always knew how to bump and sell, and that's why he's Johnny Wrestling and the rest of them are not.
And he knows how to tell a story better than a lot of people in the wrestling business, for sure. Yeah.
The facials, the promos, the bumping, the selling. I mean, he'll slow down a match on purpose on a rollout to make sure that he's selling the move.
I hope that Son of Madness does a run in is what I'm hoping for.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And then I'm hoping a fake Killshot shows up and fucking distracts Killshot. You know.
Lucha Underground has enough Kevins.
This is true.
All right.
I'm muting because Phantasma's on the TV, so you're getting muted.
Oh, are you watching AAA on Twitch right now?
Yeah.
How's it
Jeff
going?
Jarrett's out. There's a weird version. Oh, they had Fabio Apache and
Basura.
Has Cross appeared yet, or are we waiting for his run-in still?
No, not anybody yet.
Basura.
All right, so let's move on down the list. This is a great match. This is perfect booking. 2 out of 3 falls. Dragon Azteca Jr., Daj, as we like to call him, versus Phoenix Dark. Phoenix Dark.
That's a great match. That's good. There we go.
These are the only guys that I would let, except maybe with the exclusion of Daga being also included. These are the guys that I would want to do a 2 out of 3 falls match. And I said it last week. I said it the week before. I'm going to say it again. Phoenix Dark is the best incarnation of the Phoenix character, period. And you will see that in this match.
I think it's going to be great when Jake Strong runs in and beats up both guys and ruins the match. Oh, sorry. Is that a spoiler? Is that a spoiler?
I hate you. No, it's not a spoiler. But if that were to happen, this would be a multiverse that I would no longer be able to be a part of. It is a multiverse that I do not want to live.
A little update on AAA. Phantasma is currently being a translator for Jeff Jarrett.
He says that you're basura.
Oh, we're talking Phantasma Dark now, right? Is his heel turn complete?
Well, he's now by himself though,
right?
Because he's still part of Los Millonarios, whatever they were called,
right?
And not the football club. What I'm about.
Wait, so Jeff Jarrett just left? Did he go in the back to get a drink? What's going on?
Well, Jeff.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. He's supposed to be rehabbed. I'm sorry.
I went to get some hamburguesas. Me gusta hamburguesas.
You've got, for some strange reason, you've got Jeff Jarrett out with Mad. You had Phantasma who joined Mad at one point, but wasn't part of Mad.
Oh, he probably had trouble getting his T-shirt sent to him.
Yeah, and then look, oh my God, oh no, right. I'm gonna try and show you this if it doesn't reflect badly. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Wagner's got a crown.
Well, we just got taken down for copyright violations. God damn it!
No, we didn't. Never happened.
Bien.
Bien.
It's a very nice tiara that he's wearing.
Tiara.
It's really shit and plastic.
Tiara.
It's really shit and plastic.
Tiara, amigo.
I will throw your tiara in la basura
and eat a hamburguesa.
I'm guessing that Wagner is launching a new company called Taco King.
Dude, there is a Taco King, isn't there?
My God!
In LA, there's a Taco King.
Yeah, he's launching Ray Tacos.
Yeah.
Copyright that shit.
Sorry. I'm sure that Dorian has already done that.
Triple A have already done it.
All right. So the death match, Casey. Do you think this is going to be good?
I hope so, but your reaction is worrying me as someone who's seen it. But
yeah.
Oh, I will never tell. I'll never tell.
Struck each other's faces for 5 hours.
Let me just say that in a world where you're at Ultima Lucha, in a world of Ultima Lucha Quattros, when you've been sitting there for 7.5 hours, and there's been a lot of great things that are happening, there are other great things that may happen that you may or may not notice as much as the other great things that have happened. So I will say that honestly, I remember this match being very, very good. I remember enjoying it, and I don't remember too much specifically about it. And that's just to say that there's a lot of good stuff on Ultima Lucha 4.
Honestly, it's more encouraging than the last Ultima Lucha death match where the crowd didn't know who to cheer for between Cuerno and Mil Muertes because they didn't see any vignettes. So the crowd was just completely dead during the whole match.
Yeah, I don't think
it was a good match.
I don't think you'll have that scenario because clearly Mac is real babyface, though there's always support for Mil in the crowd. But without Katrina, the support has waned a little bit because the Horn Dogs are not as behind Mil as they used to be.
Yeah, which is 85% of the Temple audience.
Right, exactly. So you see where I'm getting to there. So Mac is clearly the babyface, you're starting to see him pop up other places. So who knows how much Mac you're going to get? I mean, this is a death match. Mac could be getting killed, y'all. I mean, you got to say that the favorite here is definitely Mil in a death match, right?
I would think so. It's home field advantage.
Absolutely. So I don't know. We'll see. This is one that I'm actually interested in getting Casey's reaction to too, because I know that this would have, if Casey had been there, this would have been one of the matches he was looking forward to. So we'll see.
Yeah, it definitely would have been one that I would have liked to see. So I'll see it when it's not Halloween.
Right. Well, this one isn't going to be on Halloween. I think the only ones you're going to get on Halloween are Taya Mundo versus Ricky Mundo and the Trios Championship. I think those are going to be the ones this week. And then all the rest of it's going to be in a 2-hour show the following week. So
that's better.
Yeah. I don't think you'll miss too much terribly with this one. All right. So Casey, Sacrifice to the Gods. Is our next
just came out.
Blue Demon Jr. is not in the sacrifice. Oh, he just came out over there. Okay.
He just came out to help Wagner Jr.
Gross.
But I'm pretty sure he beat him up last. I'm not sure. It's AAA.
It's AAA. I'm not sure what's happening. It's all in Spanish, and even if it doesn't lose something in the translation, you're still lost.
Sacrifice of the Gods, Justin.
So we saw at the end of this week's Lucha Underground, Johnny Survivor got given the gauntlet.
Yes.
How the is that going to work?
How did Aerostar get it? We don't know.
Yeah.
Jericho brought it to him.
Now, is it me?
The people in the match.
Is it me, or does the trailer make more sense than the actual show?
You know, is it me, or did one of the people in this match already give away the finish of the match?
Yes.
Somebody was very vocal about saying they're not going to be back next season.
And that gauntlet tends to kill people, doesn't it? I'm just saying. It smushed someone's head.
I don't know. Because I'm here to say that the way that the ending of this match was filmed was a little confusing. So I don't entirely know what to expect storyline-wise and once editing happens. But we do know that Johnny does actually have a way now that it would make sense that he could win. Who knows how that plays into it? And as we've seen, the gauntlet is something that is easily fought over and can be removed pretty easily and put on someone else. This is a god power that bounces around very easily. It doesn't fuse to you like other god powers seem to in this universe. So,
have you seen Kung Pao?
Cinematic
I want
match.
that to happen.
Yeah, of course.
I want to see the punch through the stomach and a piece of,
Well, and that would be kind of fun. Like, if this match were to start in front of the crowd and end backstage, I wouldn't be mad at it. I think that Lucha Underground could get away with more stuff like that. Because when we're there, it's just kind of like, some of that stuff has happened before. And it's a little irritating when you're there because you don't get the full fulfillment of what's happening. But I think that this would be a great moment for something like that. Like, if Cobb is really going to exit like he says he is, why not have Mundo put his entire arm through the man's chest in a great gory special effect?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, like, why not?
That's what I want.
Like, even if they did it in the ring and somehow cheated it where they shot it after the fact, like after the crowd was gone, and they just shot a special effects shot in the ring on a close-up or something, even that would be awesome. And those are the things that I think that the Lucha Underground universe should avail itself to, because they're cool and nobody else can get away with it. So why not?
Joe would make sense as well. Seeing as Matanza apparently has a god inside of him, probably through something, not actually spirit got into him like the Holy Spirit. If Cuerno, the person who is bounty hunting these things, like collecting the gauntlet to keep it away, was to kill Matanza and take that from him.
Well,
just saying, it would make sense that the person who you wrote in as a hunter would be collecting these things for a reason.
I could see Cuerno being involved in this match. He's not booked in anything else, I don't think, is he?
Not that I know of.
Right. He's definitely a star on the show, so maybe he's getting the Kevin Cross AAA treatment, and he's just there for a major run-in that has storyline implications. That would be cool.
That's his own AAA booking as well.
And it may just be that little bit on the trailer that we still haven't seen in the show is Cuerno's bit, where him and the Super Friends have their little alliance meeting after the fact. Who knows? Maybe it's however the gauntlet is used, they procure it and send it off into the heavens somewhere or back in time at the end of everything. Whereas everyone thought that was taking place earlier in the season. Maybe it's still going to happen. Maybe we haven't misused this stuff, and maybe that intro piece was heavily edited into this finale. Who knows?
I reckon that was a mistake they made, and you've just given them an out, and they're gonna go, shit, get in there quick.
Yeah, I don't think they're going back to the edit on this one, man. Lucha Underground's been wrapped for a long time. They're not getting those editors to do a damn thing. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I don't know, Byron. What do you think about Sacrifice to the Cause?
I mean, I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Mundo probably takes a lot of pride in what he does, which, you know, it's good to have one person in the match that will.
Oh!
This is why we play the games.
Are they going to sit down and have a debate? Is that what's going to happen? Mundo versus Matanza.
Possibly.
They can't actually wrestle because it'll kill him. So
they're going to have a debate about parkour versus athleticism.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like
you're mad at Cobb, aren't you? You're kind of disgusted with him.
Oh, it's just this is
stupid.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Lucha Underground puts on great matches, but I think what you really watch it for is characters and stories that play out. And I think that the story on this match got ruined unless you didn't see the interview. I'm sure some people didn't see the interview and don't know that Cobb is leaving. But yeah, it's like, okay, well then I'll just go watch something else.
So I mean, it does beg the question: why did he do that? I mean, it was 5 weeks. He couldn't wait 5 weeks.
Go on, Byron, answer it. Tell everybody why Cobb would do something like that.
Sorry, I have a phone call I have to take. That's
Look, I really like Jeff Cobb. I think Jeff Cobb is a swell guy. Jeff Cobb is a great wrestler and a swell guy. Mm-hmm. And I'm really kind of miffed that he did that. I don't know. I mean, it's like, look, we get mad at Lucha Underground all the time, but we've sat on secrets for years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you don't go and ruin the thing. Like Ricochet didn't go and ruin the fucking ending of Ultima Lucha 3 just because he was already out the door. You know what I mean?
We all knew it was happening, but he never said it himself.
Yeah, and we didn't know exactly how it was happening. But I mean, in this particular instance, with the way it's booked and what he said, it's kind of like, fuck, dude. You couldn't have thought that through a little bit better. Had a little more tact. But whatever.
I hope he wins the match. And then, like, he's walking back up the stairs and he slips on a banana and breaks his neck.
Well, that's not going to happen. But what I can tell you, is that I do believe that this match plays heavily into storylines. So there are certain elements of it that none of us know, other than whoever was there when it was filmed and DJ and Roach. So, I will be interested to see, just like Byron said, what the storyline is and how it's handled. Yeah. You know, in regards to this match. And look, these guys are both great wrestlers. I think you're still going to see a great wrestling match.
It was a lot of fun. I will say that.
So can you guys hear me all right? Sorry.
Yeah, we can.
I'm more into what's going to happen after the match at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's still going to be something, I think, to witness there that nobody knows what's going to happen yet. And then finally, the Cero Miedo match. I don't even know where to begin with this because Pentagon is Pentagon is Pentagon. He's the most over thing in the temple still, whether there's Pentagon fatigue or not, whether it's been booked perfectly or not. Still the most over guy in the temple. Martin Casals is a maniac and should be locked up and is a risk to himself anytime he's in the ring. And giving him a spotlight like this, putting him in the main event, the guy hasn't had a ton of real huge main events. This is it. This is one of the premier events in wrestling and Lucha Libre every year, and he's at the top of the card for it. All I can say to people out there is fully expect for him to go way too far. Mm-hmm. And if that doesn't make you want to watch this, with Pentagon being Pentagon and knowing what he will do for a big moment and a good paycheck, and Martin not even needing a good paycheck to do bad things to himself.
Fully expect a bullet bath.
I think I've seen some aftermath of this match because I think I know a huge mark that owns a fucking memento from it. So, maybe. Do I know a huge mark that owns a memento from this, Byron?
It's not me. Byron? That's the one thing.
I can say this. I think Byron? I can say this. Byron showed off that piece of memorabilia last week, I believe.
Okay, and it's 2 weeks ago. It's from this match. Is that what we're saying?
It's from this match. Yeah. Yeah.
It is. I can say this, that not only was the regular ringside physician and medic present, but he brought several friends with him just in case. Nice. And I believe they all earned their paychecks.
Awesome. That's my kind of match.
I don't know if it is awesome. I honestly don't know. You're just going to have to watch it, and you're going to have to tell me what you think about it, Casey. Because
honestly, I'm getting wood already, bro. It's like, this sounds like my kind of match.
For it to be a zero fear match, it scared the shit out of me. I can legit say that and I've been in a lot of pretty violent matches. This one definitely gave me cause for concern. Evie Dub was not in the back at Gorilla for this match at all. He stood ringside for the whole thing. And I was looking at his face quite a bit to see how he was reacting. And he was shocked and astonished for a good portion of it. And at times I thought he was going to pull the plug on the match, which I'm sure he would have no qualms about talking about when he comes on the show next week, I think. So we'll see. Like it's something to behold. I'm not going to I'm not giving away any of the finish at all.
Yeah.
And it's not a spoiler at all to say that it is something to behold, and you'll just have to make your own opinion about whether or not this match goes too far.
I like the sound of it because you know what? I don't believe a match can go too far. I've seen matches where motherfuckers are getting power bombed on boards with open pairs of scissors on them, Justin.
I agree, and it's not that kind of thing. This isn't a death match. But
shout out to Freedoms, the most fucked up promotion that's around today. Oh.
It's not a full death match, but that doesn't mean that a certain inherent amount of death isn't implied frequently.
Right.
And violently and with cause for a certain amount of concern. I mean, we all felt this way for the Dante Killshot match last year. It's that kind of moment. And you just have to see. And then, you know, it's got its ups and downs, its twists and turns, and it's got its moments. The work rate was also very high. It wasn't slow and plodding. It's a higher work rate than the match with Vampiro for obvious reasons. Mostly that Martin Casals can get around the ring a little bit better than Vamp these days because he's half the age. He's not quite as twisted in the same way as Vamp, but he's up there. So, and Pentagon really has no fear when he's in this kind of match, when he knows it's the time to shine. And this was his season. This was the moment and the platform that they gave him. And I don't think that Pentagon fans will be disappointed with the match. So we'll see. I'm really, really curious to see what Casey thinks about this one, because we didn't talk to Casey a lot about this one after the fact at all. We just basically told him that it happened, and whatever he read on the internet was his to read and had nothing to do with us. So
right, and I read it, and I'm not going to comment on it. Yeah, and I know Meef did too. Actually, Meef's the one who fucked up and spoiled it for me in the chat. So
wasn't me.
Yeah, wasn't there. It wasn't Justin or Byron. It was Meef. So I'm like, yeah, thanks, bro. Thanks.
I read Wikipedia. I can't help it.
Oh yeah,
well, if you guys want to be surprised, don't read Wikipedia. And honestly, no amount of reading it can prepare you for the actual match, regardless. So
no, it doesn't matter what happens as long as the match is dope. And let me tell you, if it can top AR Fox and Killshot's match last season, then this whole season, I can't say anything bad about it.
I don't know if it tops it, and I don't know that it's trying to, because it's, I mean, these aren't guys, right, and these guys aren't high spot guys like those guys are. Those guys are death-defying high spot guys. These guys are just literally defying death. So
trying to kill each other.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see people's reactions, because I think it's on a parallel to that match for different reasons.
I feel like it's a good match to watch if you want to see how much blood the human body contains. So it's sounding right up my alley. Right up my alley.
For sure.
I mean,
On a blood
the
scale.
Phoenix match was too. The Phoenix Marty match. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
On a blood scale, is it Eddie Guerrero or Wagner level?
Oh, God. Eddie Guerrero fucking Bradshaw, that match?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh, that was bad. That actually went off the Muta scale. So
no, it was what was that UFC match where BJ Penn was licking the blood off his gloves? Jim Miller?
Oh God, where the blood was just squirting into his face?
Yeah, it's on that level.
God damn.
Oh,
yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and there's some moments like that too. I believe there is some blood licking and some grossness going on too. So
Pentagon does that, yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah. Remember how Mill used to just spit the blood at the cameraman? I love that so much.
I can't
Sorry,
give you any better of a preview than that. I mean, that's your Ultima Lucha 4 preview, guys. It's Ultima Lucha. It's worth watching. I felt like it was a little over gimmicked. I feel like I almost wanted Ultima Lucha to be longer and to get some like a 3-day thing going with less gimmick matches in it so that all the gimmicked matches felt bigger. Because they're all really, really big, but it's almost too many of them. Like I was just saying before, like the death match with Mill and Mac almost goes a little under the radar, and it's still epic, because there's a lot of gimmicks going on here.
It was exhausting.
That in Lucha though, it makes sense for a feud to end with a gimmick.
Yeah, it does, and especially in an underground fight club, it makes sense.
Well,
feud to end with.
And I agree. Like so what you're getting is basically, short of a grave consequences, pretty much all the gimmicks all the time, the whole time.
Yeah,
I believe Taya versus Ricky is the only ungimmicked match in the whole thing.
And they know that a grave consequences carries its own show. They don't need to ever put it on Ultima Lucha.
Correct. But I would say that 70% of these could carry their own episode, or at least be half, like a good 30 minutes of any episode of Lucha Underground.
It's pretty good praise right there. That alone tells you it's worth watching, right?
It's absolutely worth watching. It is going to be one of the better wrestling shows this year to watch, period. And it typically always is. They know what they're doing when they do this stuff. And you know how Lucha Underground talent is too. They show out for Ultima Lucha. It's like you're not going to come and do Lucha Underground for 4 weeks and have a contract and do all this stuff if you're not going to pick your spot to show out. Like every performer in Lucha Underground should be picking one regular season spot to show out and then Ultima Lucha. And I mean, that's when you go for it. And most of them did. Most of them didn't have any major bookings right after that, so they could rest and recuperate, which is not necessarily a good thing because some of these guys went a little too far. The show, I can tell you, the behind the scenes stuff, that it ran long. There was a battle royal that we'll talk about more after Ultima Lucha has aired that I thought was an epic fail and really took up time on the clock and should maybe have not even happened, as much as I know how they want to give performers a chance to perform at Ultima Lucha just for the crowd even, to make them feel like part of the family and part of the locker room. But it was complete and utter shit, and it was poorly done and poorly executed and really a waste of everyone's time, including the performers, the talent, the production team, the crowd, everybody. Shouldn't have happened.
Doesn't make TV now.
What's that?
That'd be amazing. Please tell me it doesn't make TV now. That'd be amazing.
I don't think it does. I don't think it's on TV.
Because they probably had dead people in it, right?
So you missed out on your spot of running into that building.
It may have dead people in it. I honestly don't even remember. I mean, it was.
Was Vinny in it?
No, Vinny was not there Ultima Lucha weekend. I can say that.
That's right.
There's your spoiler that I'm not supposed to say. Vinny is not at Ultima Lucha weekend.
Okay, so he wasn't in the Battle Royal. No,
I think it's mostly people that performed on night one that were not being used in gimmick matches. So, we'll see. He might be. Honestly, I honestly don't remember. I remember a couple of people that are in it, but I'm not going to say because I'm not going to give it away. But it was. Let's just say that there was a lot of talk backstage and a lot of yelling backstage too. It was not well done.
Oh, great. I hope it makes TV now, actually.
I don't think it will. But
I hope
if it doesn't,
45 minutes.
We'll talk about it because There was definitely some heat backstage and a lot of people who didn't do what they were supposed to do with that particular match. There was some heat on a few of these matches because not because they weren't good, but because guys went a little too long, tried to get in too many spots, kind of went into the business for themselves in their hit some unapproved spots. You know, and this is coming from the guys who are the ones that approve such spots. That I talked to afterwards.
Yeah, and what sucks is if you try to do that shit, it's just going to get edited off the show. So you should think,
because the show can only be a certain length anyway.
Right. Yeah, and it's not going to make TV. The only people that'll see it are the people in the arena.
But it's also part of the problem with having all these big gimmick matches is you're putting guys in things that are like 2 out of 3 falls and death matches and sacrifice to the gods, like all these matches where anything goes and it's supposed to be no holds barred kind of ultra violence. And then you're expecting them not to step it up a notch or not to work out a spot in the ring with each other. And now most of these unapproved spots were not guys going into business for themselves, but guys going into business together in the ring against what the agents and producers had told them to do. That's a different story.
How many matches is there?
A lot. I mean, we're talking
on 90 minutes, isn't it?
On the main card, you've got 5. And they're all big gimmick matches, and one of them is a 2 out of 3 falls match. So you've got 7 announced total, and 5, I'm almost sure, are all in that last episode.
Yeah.
So that's a 2-hour episode, plus heavily vignetted.
Oh, is it a 2 episode? Okay. So it's a 2-hour episode.
Yeah. The last episode's 2 hours, scheduled to be 2 hours.
Yeah.
With vignettes and 5 huge matches, one of which is a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Damn, that's a lot of airtime right there.
Yeah. And a lot of those went long. So the day of taping was tremendously long. I mean, Byron and Jim and Ron and I were all supposed to go and film a vignette that was supposed to be in the show, but because they ran so long before they even got to intermission, it was already dark outside and too dark for them to film the thing that EV-Dub was trying to get us filmed in.
Yeah, I mean, but who really wants to get killed by Matanza, you know?
Yeah, you know.
Byron getting skull fucked by Matanza. That would have been.
I remember it was just so exhausting that I personally was yawning because I was tired, not because I was bored during some of the best matches that was going on. You know, it was just exhausting.
I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about UFC too long, but I do want to talk about one thing this week. Just one little thing, which is an almost unprecedented move. The UFC has actually performed a trade.
Oh, God, this is funny. This is funny.
So Ben Funky Askren, who was formerly in Bellator and then went off to ONE, tried to get into UFC, tried his damnedest to get into UFC, and Dana White was not interested. Like Ben Askren had in his mind what he was worth. Dana White had in mind what Ben was worth to him, and at the time, what Ben was worth to Dana was nothing. I mean, he offered him like a 5-and-5 contract or something to go be on Fight Pass. Ooh. He really disrespected the guy. He basically was like, look, kid, you're never going to perform here. I don't need you. I don't care about you. I don't care for you. I don't need anything that you have to offer. You know, go to Japan, stay in Bellator, whatever. If you want to come here, you're going to have to work your way up from the bottom. It's basically how they treated Ben Askren. So Ben Askren went off to ONE. He's been fighting in Japan, has no competition. He's just run through everyone he's ever touched. He's really one of the best untested MMA guys out there. But everyone who's worked with him in the gym, from Tyron Woodley to numerous other people, has said that he's absolutely at the top of the game and probably the best fighter out there who's not in the UFC. So he's been over and won. We know the plight of Demetrius Johnson. He's the most winning champion in UFC history, or tied for the most winning champion in UFC history. Just recently finally dropped his belt. We've heard about his stories where, you know, after every fight in the UFC, you get a belt like it's a trophy. It's not an actual belt that you defend. When you win a championship match in UFC, they hand you the belt. They give it to you. It is yours to keep and own. And when you come back for your next fight, there is another belt that when you win that fight, it is given to you and you keep and own it. I didn't realize this for a long time until I saw 3 belts sitting in Matt Hughes's basement. And I was like, why do you have 3? And Matt explained it to me. He was like, no, they give it to you. It's like a trophy. You get to keep it forever. You're a UFC champion. you are a 12-time champion. You have 12 belts.
And that's really awesome.
Right. Except Demetrius Johnson had only ever gotten one of those for the longest time, for like 10 of his fights. And then Demetrius found that out from all of the other champions who had multiple belts. Because whoever had defended had all these belts. Like I told you, Quee that was on our show a few weeks back, he has one of Tyron Woodley's belts in his restaurant in St. Louis.
Yeah.
He's been one of Ty's sponsors for a long time. And so when Tyron Woodley won his second belt or whatever, I think he gave that one to Quee.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and here's Demetrius Johnson, a reigning UFC champion forever, who didn't have him. So finally, I think at win number 10, they finally gave him a bunch of, if not all of, his old belts. Finally showing him a little bit of respect. But Dana White still never had any respect for the guy. I've talked about it myself. Demetrius Johnson can't draw flies to a hot, steamy pile of shit. He doesn't draw. Nobody cares. If you're not a real UFC MMA fan, he is only for the hardcore fans. Dana White has not done anything to help this or repair it. And in my opinion, Demetrius Johnson never did anything to help it or repair it. Being a superstar on Twitch and getting 5,000 people a day to watch you play a video game does not a superstar make. It is not getting pay-per-view buys. And if it is, it's not getting enough of them. So in an unprecedented situation, Dana White traded away his most winning champion of all time for a guy he once said would never fight in the UFC. Ben Askren is now coming to UFC. Demetrius Johnson is going to fight in the middle of the night in Japan against a bunch of people you've never heard of, and probably go on to have a stellar career there and probably make more money and lots of it. And good for him, because UFC was never going to do anything for Demetrius Johnson.
You know, and he'll probably be happy there because he's a huge gamer. He'll probably love Japan.
What I fear, however, is this may spell doom for the 125 division. It could go away altogether. If you're willing to give up one of your top contenders in the division that built the division, that has been the reigning champ in the division for all except one fight, that does not bode well for that entire division. There's talk of UFC doing a few things. I think that the 107-pound belt could go away and become a 65 and a 75. And that being the case, what could happen is you may see GSP fight for that belt. And if he wins, that might be the time when they dissolve that belt. So GSP can go out as a champion because he has no desire to, I think, defend a belt at this point in time. But if he were to come back and win it one last time, then they could retire the division and maybe switch things up. I think it's needed. I think that the weight jumps, those 15-pound weight jumps in there are too tremendous. I think you need that weight class in there. And I think you should also add a 225 weight class personally, a super cruiserweight or super light heavyweight or something in there. We'll see if it actually happens. But I think that this is starting to signal a bigger shift going into the new ESPN era, that UFC is going to change a bit again how it looks and presents itself to people. And fuck you, Demetrius Johnson. You totally deserve it. Go to Japan and rot.
Damn!
I hate to interject here. For a mark moment right now, Bandido and Flamita just came out on AAA. Bandido carrying my Mexican flag that I gave him.
Yes!
Yes!
So
Nice.
when they were here, I gave them a pair of Mexican flags each. And he keeps on popping up. So I thought he used it in Wembley in London. And then he used it at PWG. I think they both came out with one. But I was like, holy shit. I mean, it's not, I haven't got a mark on it, but yes, it's the folds and creases and what have you.
That's brilliant, though. I love it. And,
that's awesome, man. I just saw Rob Viper tweet at them both. Hey, how are your frequent flyer miles? And I'm sure they're pretty substantial right now. Damn.
I mean, look, they're two of the best guys out there, Lucha Libre wise, and I hope they get utilized everywhere. They're two guys that I was desperately hoping to see in Lucha Underground at some point in time, but at this point, they may not need it.
No.
Oh, wait, you mean Nightclaw might come back?
Well, you know what I'm saying. In a more permanent
I don't think
fashion.
we'll see Bandido don't think we'll get him in Lucha Underground, unfortunately.
I never say never.
I was actually talking about this on Markout Mania, how they're like the last luchadors that I said should be the next ones that everyone watches, and now they're like blowing up. So soon they'll get too famous for like PWG and a lot of the indies, and they're gonna go to next guys. And I think that Taurus should be one of the next guys. That's my call.
I think that's a pretty good call. I'd back that. Vikingo is up there too.
Together. Yeah, that was another one we were talking about on there. And
Monster Clown.
Yeah, Monster Clown. I prefer Murder Clown. I liked Monster Clown more when he was Aliens. Like that was such a great
I'd love to both see them get out of their clown gimmicks either way.
Have you ever have I ever sent you a picture of him as Aliens, Justin? That he's literally he had a costume that he was a xenomorph from Aliens. It was amazing.
That's awesome. I love it.
But you know, they didn't call him Alien. They called him Aliens. Yeah.
Plural. Well, no, because Alien in Latino cultures has a whole different connotation, man.
Oh, that's true. But also his gimmick before that was Highlander.
No.
That can be only one.
Oh, well, no, actually, there's two.
That could be only two.
Oh, Connor and Duncan.
If you remember, if you remember Cross's hatred.
I know.
Of that.
Well, by the time that franchise ended, it's like that can be only 17.
Yeah. You had Connor, you had Duncan. You had Mario Van Peebles.
Oh, God. I don't know. There's a lot of them. All right, guys. I have nothing else to say. Does anybody else have anything else to say?
Go to miserablepileofsecrets.com. Follow at MPOS Official. Listen to the first episode of Miserable Pod of Secrets. Happy Halloween, motherfucker.
Penis.
Byron?
Watch Lucha Underground Wednesdays at 8 on El Rey.
You didn't drop in a penis for us, man. We need all three penises to match up with Jim's one.
And be sure to stop by here this coming Thursday. I am trying my hardest to get as many of the bosses in the room as possible.
Yeah, and I'm sure DJ will be on because I'm not going to be there.
I can tell you who I've reached out to. I'm not going to tell you who's already responded. I can tell you that there will be at least a couple of the bosses here. But I've reached out to Eric Van Wagenen. I've reached out to Chris Roach. I've reached out to Krista Joseph. I've reached out to Skip Chasen. I've reached out to Tony Jensen. So hopefully, and hey, you know what? I'm going to shoot Dorian Roldan a message too. I doubt he'll ever show up, but why not?
How about you invite me, you son of a bitch?
Papa, you're welcome anytime if you bring Modelo.
Dorian's going to come on because Casey's not on. Imagine me and Casey with Dorian Roldan.
Oh,
Jesus.
wow. Well,
Casey knows how to behave himself. Casey would be a gentleman and would still tell it how it is.
I'd be like, dude, I'm sorry you've ruined everything I've ever loved in the world of professional wrestling that wasn't Wing. But no, you know what? I'll rephrase that because you know what? AAA, and I want to say that it was probably Antonio Pena. Right before he died, they started bringing in all these wing dudes just out of nowhere. Like they saw some tapes and they're like, let's sign the fucking Headhunters and Jason and Leatherface.
I don't know if that was him. That may have actually been Dorian.
Hey, if it was Dorian, it was a masterpiece, especially having Leatherface enter the ring to The Rock Says music as his theme song.
From what I understand, Dorian does actually keep his eye on a lot of more fringe promotions and people therein, and that was kind of always his thing.
Well, that's good. That means he's a true fan. I mean, like, he's in a bad position because anything fucked up that happens, we're automatically going to blame him for it.
I think he is in a bad position, but I also think that, you know, he's a product of his environment. I think he grew up in a place that makes him think wrestling is different than it is.
Yeah, okay.
And that's about the nicest thing I can say. I really feel like his viewpoint on certain things is skewed because of this get butts and seats thing as opposed to make good shows.
And honestly, all of the things that have happened with trademarks and weird stuff like that we attribute to him, his uncle was doing way before he was, you know, even a part of the picture.
Yeah, and he just thinks that that's the way to do business. I think that's the way he just tries to exude being an alpha male. You know, and he's not the only one who's done stuff like that. I think Vince did that a lot too, but I also think that Vince is a little more interested in what he thinks is a good product. I don't necessarily ever agree with him on that, but I don't doubt that Vince is trying to create a good product.
We make movies, pal.
I think that Dorian is still too concerned with just putting on a packed show and never about what kind of product he's making. And I think that's
hey, Dorian, how much do you bench, pal? Huh?
Exactly.
He's gotta puke. He's gotta puke. He's gotta puke. Take your panties off if you're sorry.
It's terrible. And on that note, until next time, stay calm and stay in the mix.
Penis.
You got a Vince McMahon.
You're just staying live for it.
You're just staying
well,
live.
I'm waiting for you to throw one in at this point, Byron. You might as well.
Byron can't throw in a penis, doesn't have one. Boom.